The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Before we start the show, we want to thank our sponsors, Pillars. Pillars is the best clothing line in the Chicagoland area. If you're looking for a dope hoodie, a sweatsuit, shirts, shoes, or even stuff for your kids, Pillars is where you should go. You can visit any of their 4 store locations in the Chicagoland area or visit pillarsclub.co and order online. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Scott. Welcome to yet another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is Monday, March 25th, 2024, and we are live from Los Angeles, California, and also Atlanta, Georgia. Know what's going on at Diddy House, but we will get into it later on in this show. But I'm your boy, Scott. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChatScott. Follow the Barbers Chat Network at BarbersChatNet on Twitter and Instagram. Follow H&B Media, H&B Media TV on Twitter, and at H&B Media on Instagram. And, of course, get into it with our sponsors, Pillars. Visit pillarsclub.co. Follow them on Instagram at pillars_club, or you can go to any of their 3 locations in the Chicagoland area, man. We've got a nice show for y'all today. The homie J.R. Bain will be joining us soon in a minute. Mikey will be joining us about an hour into the show as we're going to get into some basketball, March Madness, and football talk with him as per usual. And we got the homie Larry Legend checking in with his weekly Respect the Culture segment in about 30 minutes. I wonder what we'll be talking about in that segment today. But, man, let's bring in Dante real quick. Before we bring in our first guest of the day. Dante, what's going on, brother?
I'm solid, bro. Back that red eye took me out yesterday. I was trying to respond to messages and I blinked twice and nigga, I was asleep for the rest of the day. So, back at it, back getting to it, bro. Are you ready? It's an exciting news day,
Well, you're having a good day. By the way, follow Dante at October's on Twitter. You could be getting your house rated. So, you're not having that. So you good
Things
to go.
could be worse, brother.
Things could be worse. Let's bring in our first guest to start this episode, man. We know we have Weekend Association Weekly with Pavy, but we've got the entire Hoops and Brews cast in the building. We've got Pavy. You can follow Pavy at Pavy World on all social media platforms. We got the homie TPJ. You can follow him at Real TPJ on Instagram. Follow Hoops and Brews at Hoops N Brews. What's going on, guys?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
What's good?
Doing pretty good. Glad to have both of y'all on here to talk some hoops, man. So let's just get right into it. Let's talk about Mr. Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama has been killing shit all up and down this season. He has lived up to pretty much every expectation that they had coming into this season. The Spurs are definitely one of, if not the worst team in basketball right now. But they got their guys. So I want to kind of figure out, what should we do to try to, what the Spurs should do to build around Wemby and, try to make sure they take advantage of the generational talent that we have right now. I'm gonna go to you first, Pavy.
I mean, contrary to popular belief, I'm somebody that actually likes the foundation. I think Devin Vassell was a good guy. Keldon Johnson probably needs to go. But I think Skohan is good. I think Trey Jones, when he learns more, will be better. I actually like the foundational pieces that they already have, but I think you probably want to go out and get an actual point guard. I know that Trae Young thing has been a rumor. I think that would be really dynamic and cool. Obviously, Trae being a guy who can lead the league. I mean, who can give you 25 points and give you 10 assists every night. And I think some of his defensive limitations would be somewhat eliminated if he's playing with Victor. But mainly, I think they just need to go out and get a point guard, and they just keep honing in on the roster and also identifying the players that they already have that they think can fit. Because again, I do think the Spurs, like even outside of the guys I just mentioned, I think the Spurs do have some actual pieces. They're just all like 20 years old at this point. So yeah.
What pieces do you like on the Spurs though?
Again, I like Devin Vassell. I think Malcolm Brawhead. I think I might be pronouncing his name wrong, but Malcolm Brawhead. I think he's good. I mean, Jetty Osman. I mean, obviously he's not like super young, but I've liked Jetty since he was in Cleveland. Skohan, since they stopped trying to play him at point guard, has actually been pretty good. Like they have, I mean, Zach Collins is like a solid backup center. Even if you want to run him with Wemby, I think that's possible because, you know, Wemby can play like the 4 and Zach can play the 5. Like it's not like they have, I mean, like I said, Trae Jones, he has to learn more, but he's not a terrible basketball player. Keldon Johnson isn't terrible either. I don't think he fits with this new version of the Spurs because Keldon Johnson gets in, I'm Keldon Johnson and I'm a superstar mode at times. But yeah, I again, because all of these guys are so young, you have so many first round picks. I think you need to at least give the guys that you have a chance and let this team grow and grow and grow. Kind of like what the Thunder have done. Not to say that these guys are as good as the pieces that the Thunder have, but the Thunder let their young guys grow, and you see the results of what they did.
TPJ, man, you've been seeing what Wemby's been doing this year, man. What do you think they need to do to build around him?
Number one, I vehemently disagree with every single last thing Pavy just said. The entire Spurs team needs to go. This man just named Jetty Osman. Pavy told me Jetty Osman was going to average 15 points per game like 4 years ago on Hoops N Brews. Get the fuck out of here. No, stop. I let you talk. Shut up. I let you talk. Let me finish talking. Put me back on the camera. Now, number one, they need to start off with getting rid of Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Shohan, Trae Jones, Jetty Osman, Zach Collins, and anybody else left on that team not named Victor Wembanyama. That team is not a good team. They have some young players and young pieces that I believe that can be moved to a bunch of different other teams, as well as they have a slew of draft picks still left from being bad. If I am them, the first person that I'm looking at to go get is Trae Young. I don't care what anyone says. Trae Young has been in Atlanta averaging 26 and 11 for 3 years, and no one cares. And I don't care how many defensive lapses Trae Young has. You see when Wemby is on the floor, players literally run away from the basket because they see him underneath there. So whatever defensive liability Trae Young would be on the Hawks with the Clint Capella, he's not going to be the same with Wemby on the floor. Then after that, I go and I try to get an experienced shooting guard that can actually score and get timely buckets. No one on the Spurs can give you timely buckets, but they can sure as hell give you timely turnovers. And they also don't even look up the floor still at this very moment for Victor Wembanyama. He should be getting like 10 lobs a game at at the rim. Period. And even if he's not at the rim, just throw the ball near the rim. He could tap it up and get it in. This Spurs team is not good. Keldon Johnson, I do agree with one thing Pavy said. Keldon Johnson thinks he's him. He is not him. Devin Vassell is a good player, but trade him away. Like, what's the worst team in the league? Other than the Spurs, trade him to the Wizards and get Kyle Kuzma. That actually wouldn't be bad for them. They need to go and get some guys and some pieces. This is not the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder, like all of these guys they have are like really, really good lottery picks. The Spurs guys are like very mid-level lottery picks. Why would I want a bunch of mid surrounded by greatness? Go either find some more great players or utilize those draft picks and get someone that you think will be dynamic. But honestly, I'm going to ask y'all this question and I'm going to wrap. Who's the best player in college basketball right now? I do not know. With that being said, who out there that's young is really worth Victor Wembanyama, like worthy of being his teammate right now? You got to go out. You got to get him some. I don't want the other tall guy from France. I don't need him with more tall guys.
No, it's about 4 other people from France. Like the first 4 picks in the draft all literally come from France.
What are their names?
I'm not mad at that.
Labissiere. He's
you don't even know their names.
Because it's French. I can't pronounce it.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point. You didn't know what the fuck Wembanyama was until he showed up and he made you
Actually,
know
no,
his
I
name.
knew like 2 years before everybody else. Just saying.
No, but that's my whole point. You don't know any of these guys. You just
Nah, I
know,
really
oh,
do
he
know
might
him.
be a guy.
No.
His
I
name
really
could be
know who they are.
Jean-Michael
No, I'm
Pierre,
saying,
and
if
you
you know-
wouldn't even know though.
No, listen. There's Alexander Scar. There's Ron Holland, who's also in the G League right now.
You just pulled up Google.
No, I swear to God, I didn't. He has a teammate who actually grew up in Chicago, who is like a 6'10" shooting guard. He's from like I think Lativa or French, but he came over. He plays for the G League at night. They have
Latvia, G.
yeah,
Latvia, you said
They-
Lativa.
Lavia.
Queen
They have,
Latifah. He from Queen Latifah.
Lavia. They have and I think the number one pick is guys like I said, it's like Labisi something, but he's from France.
Salute.
Okay, can I
Swank
just say a
with
couple
that
things? Because I
chat.
pulled up some
Go
stats
ahead.
as y'all was talking.
Yeah.
Wemby since the All-Star break, averaging 4.6 blocks per game. His efficiency on the court tops in the league. With him off the court, the team is near the bottom with the 76ers, the Wizards, the Raptors. In terms of comparing his rookie season, he's averaging more rebounds, more points, more assists, more blocks, more steals, and he's shooting better than Kevin Durant shot his rookie season. Also, in terms of rookies, first in points per game, rebounds per game, fourth in assists per game, first in blocks per game, first in steals per game, fourth in minutes. And of these players that average 20 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, and 3.5 blocks in the season, it's Kareem, Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal, Alonzo Mourning, and Victor Wembanyama. You do not wait for these guys that are not that good to get good. Go get some good guys.
I'm with you. And by the way, shout out Damien who said Lativa sounds like a girl from the jungles. And dude, I think, man, I'm with you, man. Like I feel like all this talent, like I know, Pav, you said this before on the show where you like they're not that bad. No, they bad. They stink. And not saying that they can't be on they might have to be on the team next year. You're not gonna revamp the whole team in one offseason. But they do need to move a big chunk of this shit off the roster and craft it in a way that makes Wemby the best possible player that he can be. I mean, you just named some of the people who we don't even know who these guys are. I might try to look at trading that pick, see if you can get some players that can help him today. I know he's young, but there's no point of, making this window, or not making the window, making the build up slower than it needs to be. So they need to get some actual NBA-ready players in there to build around this talent. Because as we see this year, this guy's going to be a problem. If he's hooping like this in year one, you know what I'm saying? I think that's something that you need to build on right there. Shout out to somebody else. Donnie Luke said, I think they should go after Trae Young. That's something I go after too. See what's up with Atlanta. See what they want for, Trae Young. He's not going to stay there. I think that door is closed already. Go over there and see if you can pair him up with the Wemby, and that'd be a combination I like to see out the gate. Dante, what you think about Wemby and like how the Spurs should build around him?
Yeah, I think at this point, Wemby is the only person you can be patient with. I'm with everybody else. It's time for the other people to go. Like Vassell, he's cool. Like you have a lot of guys who are cool, but I mean at the end of the day, this is a guy that I think you should go out and try to get the best talent available when they are available. Like anybody that's willing to come play with Wembanyama, I think it's a situation where a lot of people, they see what he's doing and they see the potential for where he can go, and you're gonna have people that want to come play with that, people that want to win. I was just glancing through the free agents. You may have to make a trade because a lot of guys have player options. Paul George player option is coming up, but Ballmer's gonna do everything to keep him in Los Angeles unless something crazy happens. So other than that, no, I think I'm with TPJ. You really just gotta go out of your way to get top talent in there with Vic because the sky's really the limit with bro. At first you had to wait and see, but I think once they took the leash off, you saw that he's really a problem, and there's a lot he can do out there. And I think you're gonna have a lot of great players who are able to, fit their games around what he doing. It's not gonna be a problem because a lot of these young guys sometimes just feel like they don't like playing with Vic. Like he'll have plays where he should be getting the rock, and somebody's looking for their shot. So the play goes with the way it goes, which is why their record is what it is. But I think, you got to find people who are like, all right, I recognize how great this kid is, and I'm going to work with him, and then we're going to go win these games.
Orlando put in the chat, DeMar reunion. No, you gonna get that 4-year, $150 million extension and like it, brother. You definitely finna get that. Let's move on to our next topic. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Clippers, man, a team that, the three of us follow. I feel like this team, they fooled me. I don't even say they fooled me, but I fell for the I fell for the little start earlier, and then they just started being the Clippers again after All-Star break. I mean, right now they are the 4th seed in the Western Conference. They're only a half game up on the New Orleans Pelicans. They're only 2.5 games up on the Phoenix Suns. They lost last night to hold on, I didn't press. All right, fuck NBA app. I clicked on the wrong thing. I was looking at these stats and then niggas started playing music. Anyway, what I was saying about the NBA, the Clippers last night, they lost to the Philadelphia 76ers, 121-107, and they are 5-5 in their last 10 games. I think the Clippers is this. Now, I'm not I mean, I'm saying I'm too worried, but they're really showing the same signs that they usually show. And as far as them not taking games serious, blowing leads, getting down early, and then we already have the quotes from the locker room when we lost our way. And, you got T. Lue up here. And T. Lue, for the most part, says the right thing in press conferences. But going up there admitting that you don't know what's going on, that's not the best look for this team. And I kind of feel like they're coming to a point in their growth as a team over these 5 years in the PG Kawhi Leonard era, which is this year has been the healthiest they've been. And Harden has actually, for the most part, been hooping the way he's hooped. But if they don't get something done to the point where I feel if they don't get at least to the conference finals, it's going to be disappointing. And if you look at how it lines up right now, they be playing New Orleans in the first round. New Orleans is playing good basketball, 8-2 in their last 10. Won the last 2 games. Zion looks like he lost a little bit of weight, and he's just been on a fucking tear. This is a team that already had a hard time playing against New Orleans to begin with. It's just a bad matchup, and you don't want to have to face them in the first round, and then you go home in the first round. Now, Pav, you were at the game yesterday. You've been at these last couple games. What do you think is a possibility that they could be going home, before the second round starts?
I mean, I think it's a real possibility because if you look at what he said, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not looking at it right now, but I looked yesterday. I think the Pelicans are 1 game back at him. If I'm not mistaken,
half game.
It's like half game, and the Suns are how many games back?
Suns are 2.5.
Exactly. So you don't want to get in a situation where you keep losing games, and then let's say you jump over the Pelicans, or let's say the Suns keep winning games, and let's say you end up playing the Suns first round. I don't want to play Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, especially some team that they've been figuring it out more. Even the Pelicans, I think that they will win that series. But with the way Zion's been playing, I know Bi got hurt, but with the way Zion's been playing, you still have Valanciunas, you still have CJ, you have guys that can score. My only thing with the Clippers, well, a couple things that worry me with the Clippers. One, obviously, Russell Westbrook broke his hand, so he hasn't been there. And I think you do see the effects of not having Russell Westbrook. Just his energy permeates through the team, and when it's not there, there's nobody on the court that can do what Russ does. He's the fastest person. He's his energy is just completely infectious. He gets to the basket, puts his head down. There's so many times this season where it was 91-91 early in the 4th, and Russ comes in and he's a spark plug that gets them the lead, and then they ride that to victory. Also, I think they have too many cooks in the kitchen, meaning I think they have too much talent. Even when they were going on this run, I think Plumlee was hurt. They had Plumlee was hurt. Bones Highland just wasn't playing. They had Tuck wasn't playing. What you see now is they have so much talent that all those guys could warrant playing, and they're trying to play them now. I think they did last game against the Sixers. First half, Tice was a backup center. Second half, Plumlee was a backup center. Now, to be fair, neither one of them played good. So I think you were probably trying to find something that works. But I think you got to just stick with something so guys know what their roles are coming in, night out. And again, everybody just can't play. It's unfortunate, but everybody can't play. Next thing is that was a play yesterday in which I know even Braun was talking about this on his pod with JJ Redick about how out of TOs when people mess the play up, it completely annoys him because we just went over it. There was a play in which Ty Lue called a timeout. Now, mind you, this wasn't a half court set. It was a full court set. Call a timeout. They bringing the ball up full court. They end up getting a 3-second violation. How do you get a 3-second violation off of OTA, which I assume you had a set play? And it wasn't even the center that got the violation. It was Paul George. To me, that's either a lack of focus, a lack of execution. And again, there's a couple key words that Ty and even Kawhi has used, and even PG has used. PG said, we lack a identity.
And that's
it's
trouble.
Fucking March. And
trouble.
All y'all 35.
Yeah.
Fuck you mean you lack an identity? Y'all should have figured that out a long time ago. And then Ty keep talking about mental toughness.
Yeah, that's not some shit you want to hear when we 3 weeks away from the play-in, bro.
No, look. If you were coaching the Rockets, I would feel you. Because all of this ain't even on time. Because again, you talking about a veteran-led team. You talking about guys who going straight to the Hall of Fame, guys who done have made playoff runs before, guys who done been there for like 14 years. Talking about mental toughness. We don't have a identity. Kawhi yesterday said, "Oh, we just not playing hard." Now, granted, I know it's March. It's the dog days of the season. You may be looking forward towards playoffs, but those are all things that trouble me. And two last
But
things
this
I'll
thing,
say.
I just want to say this real quick, G. But that's the thing. That's the problem. Like they're too much of a veteran team. They've fumbled so many times that you can't have that mentality of let's just get to the playoffs. And that's something that the Lakers can do. Even though they're in the play-in, they've been there before. That's the problem.
And two last things I'll say. Two other issues that they have is one, they're kind of old and slow. So transition defense is always going to be a problem. And for whatever reason, they get moments in the game where they just turn the ball over too much. And they physically can't get back with some of these younger teams because they're just old and slow. And the last thing I'll say is I love James Harden, but they have a really hard problem guarding quick guards. Cameron Payne. First of all, I shout out Tyrese Maxey, all-star. But there's no way Cameron Payne should have done what I saw Cameron Payne do yesterday. They literal hard problem guarding guards. And I think in the playoffs, when I don't want to say when the game slows down, but when a team schemes for you 7 times in a row, they're going to make James Harden guard somebody. And I think that can spell trouble.
TPJ, man, what you think about the Clippers? What's your worry level for them?
Yeah, so I won't necessarily say that I agree with everything Pavy says. I won't necessarily say that I disagree with what he says. I don't really care too much in regards to like these whole conversations about identity because the Clippers have never had an identity. Their identity was what they told me at Media Day, I think 3 seasons ago, that they were trying to eventually get to an all-5 wing lineup. And what you see is that they try to run these small ball wing, small ball guard lineups, and they don't work. Let's just talk about some stats for the Clippers. The Clippers' offensive rating is actually 4th in the league at 119.7. But if you look at the points that they average as a team, they're 12th in the league in scoring, 116.5. They're also 20th in the league in assists per game. This boils down to what I will agree with Pavy is when we talk about the system. James Harden said he is the system. Me and Pavy said on an old episode of Hoops N Brews that system is like Windows 2000, Windows 2005. It's old, it's outdated. It needs to be gone. Pavy talks about this bench and this team being so talented. I don't agree with that. I actually think Ty Lue's rotations need to get a lot shorter. They should be more like 7, 8-man rotations. Pavy literally tweeted during the game yesterday that he thought Daniel Tice he might not play for the rest of the season. So when I'm looking at these guys, they brought in a lot of guys that have talent. But if you're going to rank 22nd in the league in rebounding, 18th in the league in defensive rebounding, 22nd in the league in offensive rebounding, be 20th in the league in assists, you're not a good basketball team. And I've said this all year long. They not going to fool me again. I've been covering them for 5 years now. You're not going to fool me again. I need is everybody going to be there for Game 7 happen? If they not, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about Russ might come back. I don't want to hear about none of this. They all low-key limping into the playoffs, and the same thing is going to happen as always. Somebody going to get hurt, and everybody that's a Clippers fan going to be like, man, well, next year we got a stadium. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Like, I want to see them. They either win, like, I'd actually just win. Like, I'm tired of it, bro. It's been 5 years of being like, yo, these guys can be very, very good. And they don't even really try hard. This man, James Harden out there trying to block Kawhi Leonard's shot. Like, could you imagine on that Doc Rivers team like 5 years ago with all those gritty guys that was on that team, James Harden trying to block a Lou Will jumper and them missing it? Even if they was up 20, they would have all been looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, do you want to win or do you want to play games? And that's really what it boils down to for the Clippers. And I'm going to say this. Ty Lue might not make it past May.
Yeah.
Because if they get eliminated in any of these early rounds, he has been the common denominator over the past 4 years. And as Doc said when he got fired after they lost to the Mavericks, and Ty Lue got hired, Ty Lue was in that locker room and in them huddles too. And what we seeing is very Doc Rivers-ish happening for the Clippers. So to me, if you're not going to rebound and you're not going to pass the ball, you're going to lose. You're old, you're slow. I pray for him.
Yeah, and like you said too, Ty gets a lot of love, and rightfully so, but you gotta get the blame too when shit don't go well. This has been the healthiest season they've had. They started off really good. They started off bad when they first got hard, and how they was able to get everybody back together and get back on that winning track, and even having the number one seed for a little bit. He got to take some blame as well. And if you're a Ballmer and you're trying to bring it into a new stadium, which the allure of that stadium is not going to last long because it's the Clippers, number one, and number two, because if you're not fucking winning, nobody going to care anyway. You're just going to have a big-ass, nice stadium with empty seats in that motherfucker. So you're not going to want to bring in a coach who I believe is Western Conference Finals a bust. You have to get in there. And none of this actually, like, shocks me, but where I saw it, what to me would confirm what I was seeing was the LeBron and Laker comeback that the three of us was in the building for that. How quickly that thing turned, and to me, it's just been a shit show ever since. You can't have a non-Embiid team, a team that has been struggling since Embiid got hurt, coming in and just kick your ass. Like, you just can't allow things like that. Dante, what you think about what you're seeing from the Clippers, and what should happen to Ty Lue if this thing doesn't go to White Ray?
I think at the end of the day, he will be the one to fall on the sword at first. I know simply because we keep mentioning that stadium, they're gonna want to sell tickets. So if they do fall short again, I think the players will be the last to go. Or you see any major reshuffling of the deck simply because he's gonna try to put as many seats as possible. Now that you can't lean back on the fact that you share a building with the Lakers, so at least y'all playing in LA live and you get that type of foot traffic and things like that. So I think more than anything, it's going to be important for Ty to get to at least the Western Conference Finals with this team. But with all the problems that you all pointed out, I do think it's not going to go the way that they wanted it to. It's all going to depend on the matchups. The teams that they're running into, like we said, are like a lot of running gun teams that are going to get out and press them and force them to run. And that's something that, despite what we've seen over the years from them, especially because for years, both not KD, both Kawhi and Paul have hung their hat on defense. Now they older, so it takes a little more time for them to do their thing. So I think it's all going to come down to the matchups. But unfortunately, I do think Ty Lue is going to be the one to end the first domino to fall in any changes that happen with the Clippers.
Fresh from the ATN offices, we've got Bang Wamsgans is here with us.
What up?
Joining us late. Is everything good on your side, dog?
Oh man, shit.
Yeah, you got some. What you?
Oh no, that's my aroma. I needed that shit after I was thinking I was about to come and do this shit, and then Diddy Cribs want to get raided and shit. So now I gotta go to work.
Yeah, I'm looking at this shit. This shit crazy.
We're gonna get to that in just a minute, man. But let's go to the next topic. The next topic being the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors. This is a season where the Warriors are kind of like a business who don't realize that it's over, and they keep trying to double down on expenses for the business and hiring new people. Like, that's gonna be the shit that works. Like, it's been a nice run, but it's over. And right now they're looking like they might miss the fucking play. And as we speak right now, after losing again last night to the Minnesota Timberwolves, they have lost 2 in a row. They are 4-6 in their last 10 and are only 1 game up on the Houston Rockets, who have been on a tear. Jalen Green hooping like he got 3 child support payments coming at the same damn time. They have won 8 in a row, and they are 9-1. You know what you say?
Allegedly, he actually might.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, 9-1 in the last 10. You got Draymond saying they're not worried about this. Every time I look at Steve Kerr, it looks like he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. I think this is a legitimate scare for the fucking Golden State Warriors, and it's also a scare for Adam Silver. And I say that because Adam Silver wants that Lakers and Warriors playing game. That's what he wants. No matter how many times I'm tired of them being on TV. Yeah, Damien, this is like Blockbuster. The Warriors are Blockbuster right now. That's 100% what it is. I'm tired of seeing that matchup on TV, but obviously the general public isn't. Those ratings always look good when LeBron and Steph play each other. In the last couple games, have actually been good. So that Adam Silver wants that game at Staples Center this year. He doesn't want the Houston Rockets, who would probably get blown out in that playing game, to happen. But if you're the Warriors, and I've been saying this shit all season long, some of the cast been thinking I'm tweaking. Some of the cast has been agree with me. Keep playing with Steph. If he wants to win, if this keeps failing, I will send whoever I got to send out the building to make sure Steph Curry is happy, and try to put him in the best position to at least compete for a championship. Do I think they'll ever win one again? No, but you at least have them to a point where they're in the playoffs competing. This play-in shit should not be going on any longer. And as well as Steph has been playing, he's going to want to eventually do that. You don't want him to come to you like, yo, I love what y'all did for me, but at the same time, I want to go to a different team. And I keep saying that could be something that's on the table if they don't get this shit together. Ultimately, I do think that they'll hold on to this last seed. I like how Houston's been playing. I don't know if they can sustain this over the next 2.5, 3 weeks. But this is something they got to worry about now, because for the longest time, it looked like they were just going through the motions and saying, oh, well, just a matter of who's going to have home court between the the Warriors and the Lakers as far as that play-in game. Pat, what you think about what you've been seeing from the Warriors, and do you think that Houston can actually leave them and play the Lakers in a play-in game?
I think the Houston thing is a real concept. And like, I know it's funny because of like the timing, but I think the reason why Jalen Green has actually been on the chair that he's been on recently is because Şengün got hurt. So like all these possessions with Şengün, where like you would be running through Şengün, Jalen Green just has the ball more. And credit to him, he's becoming like an actual legitimate NBA basketball player instead of like just an AAU guy. He's becoming an actual basketball player. And again, they have a great coach. I mean, even if you remember the Celtics season, I think they were like 16-16 at one point, and they went on a tear and ended up in the finals. So this isn't something that like Ime hasn't done. They have a great coach. So I do think the Rockets thing is a real thing. I just think that I don't know if teams have reacted to the Rockets' new scouting report, because so many things would run through Şengün, and now that Şengün isn't there, obviously I hope he gets better, but now that Şengün isn't there, I think they just play a little bit differently. But yeah, the Warriors thing, like I think they really need to be scared. They really need to win some basketball games. And I know you talk about getting Steph some help. The only issue with getting Steph some help is I think that for most of their assets, they have passed up the point in which they could get what the maximum of what they could get for them. I still think that maybe we could get something for Kuminga, but like Moses Moody, I don't know what you give him anymore. Wiseman, obviously, you traded him to the Pistons. I forgot what they even got back. I forgot what they got back because it wasn't much.
They got a year's supply of conies. That's what they got.
I think that they misplayed their hand when they were trying to like, oh, well, we're gonna have two separate generations. We're gonna have these. Now, granted, you got it. You did get a ring out of it. You got a ring out of it. You did get a ring out of it.
I was gonna say it was gonna work until Jordan Poole got too much dip on his chip and Draymond had to punch him in the fucking mouth.
I mean, again, but these are all like things. So I think the 2 generations timeline thing kind of got thrown off. So I don't even know like what help you can really honestly go and get them, honestly, for the most part. Like, let's say, oh, you want to sign and trade Clay. What is that going to get you right now? Oh, you want to trade Chris Paul. What is that going to get you? You want to trade Draymond Green, especially with his, if fucking the Warriors can't control Draymond Green's antics, who else in the world can control Draymond Green's antics? Right. If he won't act right there with Clay and Steph and Steve Kerr and Joe Lacob and the ownership telling him what to do, or like, motivating him to do the right thing, what is he gonna do if you send him to, I don't know, fucking Orlando? Like, what is he gonna do there? Yeah. So I think this Warriors thing is a real thing, and they have like real legitimate problems on their hand. And like, yes, like I definitely can see a world. I can see a world where that 10th spot is the Rockets, and that would be completely, utterly embarrassing for the Golden State Warriors. Like, granted, I know they've been through a lot this season, like even just off the court stuff, but that would be embarrassing, bro. You can't not even make the play in. That would be completely embarrassing for this franchise. And then if you don't make the play in, you go to the offseason. I don't know how some of these guys come back if that is something that happens.
Yeah. TPJ, what you think about this Warriors collapse? It kind of feels like. You on mute, brother?
You on mute.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I was over here. I've been over here reading the timeline.
The timeline's on fire.
and the timeline is doing generational numbers. So I was laughing so hard. I didn't want to be in the background laughing. So my apologies. But when it comes to the Warriors, the dynasty has been over. I've been saying this for a couple years. I didn't even think they were going. I knew they were going to beat the Celtics because the Celtics are the Celtics, and I don't trust Jason Tatum unless there's literally nobody but G Leaguers on the floor. And even then, like I've seen, like one of the homies told me he bet on the Celtics versus the Pistons, and the Pistons won that game. So I don't even know if you can depend on them versus like the G League teams. But with that being said, like looking at the Warriors, I just never thought that this chemistry and this current mix would work. The Warriors have, when they were champions and when they were, perennially going to the finals, they rebounded very, very well. They played great defense and they executed, and they also garner a lot of assists. I see a lot of like hero and like I need to get somebody a bucket kind of ball from the Warriors. Steve Kerr said it last night, I believe, that that Steph Curry can't be the only one to shoulder the load. And if I'm Steph Curry, I'm gonna be honest. I love y'all. Shout out to y'all. Y'all have been great. But somebody need to figure out a way to get me to San Antonio. Because number one, these California taxes is crazy, and I'm about to get like $60 million a season. And number two, it's a 7'5" alien that if I play with him, I could probably play for another 10 years. So like I'm looking at Draymond. He been old. Pavy been telling me that Draymond been washed for like 5 years at this point, but somehow he pulls it together randomly. Clay, I've been literally on our show until the trade deadline ended. We had a trade Clay segment every week. I tried to figure out where to trade him. There was no good where to send his contract. Even this summer, like you maybe could send him to the Spurs because they have enough cap where they can absorb him with like a Doug McDermott or like a Zach Collins. But like that team is cap strapped. They're in a lot of money, like in debt in terms of the luxury tax. I do not believe that the Warriors will be good going forward. I really think that they need to start rebuild around Kuminga and Steph. I don't really know where you send Draymond. Maybe you think about sending Draymond to, San Antonio. He could be a better, Jeremy Shohan, I guess. I have no idea. But wherever he goes, it's going to be chaos. So who knows? But for the Warriors, it's been over. Like they got one. I'm good about it. Like Steph Curry is my go to this generation. Like I could say that over the past 14 years, I watched Steph Curry win 4 rings, and I watched LeBron win 3. I'm cool with that. Take it to the bank.
Bang. What you think about this Warriors thing, man? You think it's a wrap?
You just pulled me. You pulled to me, JR.
Yeah. You not
unmute your mic, G.
You muted, dog.
Oh, my bad. Look,
that's
been a day. All right. You know
he's looking at that timeline too. He looking at the timeline too.
Working at the same time, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
We got Bang Bombs games here.
But nah, man, it's been over. Shit, they lucky they got that last one they got. But nah, it's been a wrap, and it's okay. Like, let's celebrate the dynasty or the almost dynasty, if you want to call it that. Let's just celebrate it. Have a good time. Get ready for, some ring chasing with some of these legends. You know what I'm saying? I do like that San Antonio fit. I didn't even think about that, especially with the taxes. That's amazing. But, let's go ahead and start ring chasing. Let's go ahead and send these players over to teams that, got a chance to win rings. Let's break it up and let's go ahead and get younger. But it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? And I think the biggest question is will Golden State recover? Can they be like the Boston Celtics or the Lakers and extend a dynasty? Or can they be like San Antonio or the Bulls? They get their rings and then they huff for the rest of our natural life. I think that's the biggest question. What can they do to rebuild and try to extend some type of legacy with their teams similar to LA and Boston?
Dante, man, let's just wrap this one up before we get to our last topic with Pav and TPJ. What do you think about the Warriors?
Reality's on the way, people. This shit is over. Enjoy the time you had. You got 4 rings. It was a hell of a run. You saw you saw the greatest shooter ever, overcome his injuries and become the player we see him as today. And now you just pray that he don't ask for a trade. But, as far as winning rings and all of that, it's over. And it's not like we've been saying for months. It's not a bad thing. You feel me? A lot of times. And I think this is also what's wrong with the league. We should be talking about teams like Houston, and, as a positive, not that, oh, damn, they about to, they might overtake the Warriors. You get the Warriors out of here. Like, it's over. It's time to bring new faces to the front. And that's the only way this league can, truly grow. So, I don't know if Stephen acts out just because I think he may, retire Warrior. He may pull that. So if anything, you may see them try to, bring in any of the top players who are looking for a new place and things like that. We know their ownership group is spin bread, but this iteration of the Warriors, this core it's over with, and I think it's cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
Final topic before we get Hoops and Brews out of here, man. Let's talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks coming off a big win last night over the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are now 46-25, number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. They're probably going to stay there. They are 3 games up on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Giannis had a monster game, 30 points, 19 rebounds. And that game, there's 2 things about that. One, that game showed me that, as I've been saying, as Pavy's been saying, I think the Thunder are just a cute story. If I was a veteran team, I'd be salivating to play them. But this team's been up and down. They had a little good run a couple games ago, like going on a little streak, and it went back to losing. Giannis won a couple games. Pav, man, what's your faith level in the the Milwaukee Bucks these last couple weeks of the season and heading into the Eastern Conference playoffs?
I mean, I think you've got to have faith in them for one. I mean, even in the game that they lost to Boston when Giannis didn't play, I think the encouraging thing was the way Middleton looked. Like Middleton looked like he showed some semblance of himself that he was in 2021 when they won a ring. So I mean, I think you got to have faith because again, number one, I rock with Boston. I think Boston has probably the best roster in the NBA, but it's just Boston. And they just and for whatever reason, I still just don't trust them. Even though I think that if you just look on paper, I think that they should win a championship. But when I look at a series, I mean, granted, I know that Drew has done things to Dame, has done unholy things to Dame in the past. But I mean, Giannis took him to 7 with no Middleton. If you got Middleton and you got Dame there, and you think about the star power of Giannis, I mean, you got to give him a shot. So, I mean, like, yeah, I think the Bucks are playing better. They're finally getting healthy, and they're going to for sure have something to say down the stretch as long as they can be healthy and be on the court. They're for sure going to have something to say down the stretch, for sure.
Everybody been falling for the mute thing today, the goddamn timeline. TPJ, what you think about, the Bucks?
For me personally, let's just take a look back. Dame Lillard getting traded. It really affected kind of the way that they, did things overall as a team. They were used to kind of playing a little more team ball. They play a lot more pick and roll now than they used to. And then obviously Doc came in and kind of gave them a new bolt and a new, kind of burst of energy. I actually got the opportunity to talk to Dame Lillard and Giannis and Doc after the Clippers, lost to the Milwaukee Bucks the last time they played. And I spoke to them about the chemistry. And the main thing that they kind of were focusing on was just like the amount of time that they have. And the amount of time that they've been able to, kind of get more and more repetitions. And Dame specifically spoke to myself and other reporters just about like Doc really putting it, kind of an emphasis on them to communicate, but also to play off of each other. And Dame answered a question to another reporter where he said that basically during some of their practice drills, they'll put the other team on the other. I'm sorry, not the other team, but the other 3 guys on the opposite end of the floor. They'll run a play where either Dame or Giannis gets the ball, and then they want Dame or Giannis to sprint to the ball, set a pick, and then either get downhill or throw the ball and swing it to get some more baskets. The biggest reason why Adrian Griffin was fired was because he was not running any sets that Dame Lillard was running in Portland, and the guys just didn't like him. They didn't mesh well, and they also didn't play that well. Now, I will say this. They have had very strong wins over the Clippers. They've had a strong win, actually twice over the Clippers, over the Suns, and then obviously this win versus Oklahoma City Thunder. But for me, it really boils down to defense. They're 5th in the league right now in offensive rating. They're 17th in defensive rating, but their net rating is 8th. So for me, if the Bucks are going to win a championship, they have to be a top 10 defense. They already have a top 5 offense. The defense has to come. I actually look for Chris Middleton to be more of a defensive guy than a scorer. And it actually really kind of disappointed me seeing that he was like making noise and like upset with Doc that he took him out because he didn't get a triple-double. Brother, I left you in the game. You had plenty of time to get a triple-double. Look at what you did. You didn't do enough. We're winning. Get the fuck out the game. If you get hurt, then guess what the first thing everybody gonna say is, see, yep, Doc left him in too long. Then he got hurt. That's why Doc is terrible. So it's like, if you Doc, you can't win, you can't lose. But I do think that if they continue to focus on defense and Chris Middleton gets back to being a good defender, the Bucks will be fine, because what they can't really defend at this point in time are guards in a similar manner to the Clippers. But the difference between them is that you have Brook Lopez, Giannis with the shot blocker, and you do have guys like Jay Crowder that actually can at least pose some kind of threat. And even though Pat Bev is going to get 35 dropped on his head by most guys, it's going to be a tough 35. So I look at the Bucks, to me personally, as finals or bust, because I think if you don't get to the finals this year, Giannis is out of here next year. He's going here. He's going to the Bulls. He said it last offseason that he always wanted to play in Chicago. I think it's the perfect opportunity with the Bulls, essentially going into rebuild mode, getting rid of, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, and probably DeMar. So, that's how I look at the Bucks. But I do think that Doc has one opportunity to prove that he is not a generational choker, and that's to have a dominant playoff run with the Bucks, get to the finals, and win in 6. I don't want to see it go 7, because if it goes 7, then that means you was up 3-1 and you lost that 3-1 lead, and then you just happened to get over the hump. I want to see Doc and his team do a good job. Doc has also said he's given the players the clipboard this year for them to make adjustments, which I think is a smart thing, because usually he wasn't making any adjustments. So I think the Bucks will be all right. But for me, it's finals or bust. If they don't get to the finals, this is a wasted year.
I agree with that, man. I don't know about the Chicago thing. I would love that, but until they tell Ronsdorf we need Thanasis to get a job. He's
ain't coming in no motherfucking Chicago. With
you gonna have goddamn Thanasis
from you gonna have playing with
Thanasis from
Ayo.
Chicago Soho.
You gonna have that man playing with Ayo making a 6 seed. That man gonna be 31 going through hell. He ain't coming to no damn Bulls. That is not happening.
Why you hate us so much?
Look at the
he's
team.
right. He's right though. He's right. As much as I hate it, I hate when Pavy's right. Very few things on earth I hate more than when Pavy's right, but he's right on this one, man. Glad to have you on, bro. Y'all can check out Hoops N Brews. Y'all going live tonight, right?
No, because I'm gonna be watching Halliburton give the Clippers 30 and 10.
Oh, okay. So y'all be back on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday. So we'll catch up with the fans on Wednesday afternoon.
Definitely, man. Follow Hoops N Brews at Hoops N Brews on Twitter and Instagram. Follow TPJ at Real TPJ. Follow Pav at Pavy World and visit pavverse.com. Stream FaceTime is dangerous right now, man.
Can I say one last thing?
Hold on, pause. Is that a buzzball, Thomas?
Yeah, it is. Shout out to Joe.
Yeah, come on.
Yo, look. I got one last thing to say, and I promise you I'm done. Shout out to all of the women in the NCAA women's tournament. That tournament has been way better than the men's. The play has actually been great play. We've been seeing 100-point games. The offenses are fluid. The women are actually putting on a show and showing these dudes how they should be doing it. College men's basketball is in ruins right now. Shout out to the ladies. And I don't even care if Caitlin Clark win. This season was a great season for the women. And hopefully the WNBA is smart enough to capitalize off of it. I just had to get that shout out. I'm out.
I hope they do too. And funny part about that is we're gonna be talking about men's basketball later today. With Pav TPJ, always good to have y'all on, bro.
My man.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna get into our next segment, man. Here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. And we got the legend, Larry Legend, in the building. Respect the coaching. There we go. Each and every Monday on the Barber's Chair Network, HB Media. I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Man, this has been a day. First of all, follow him. You want to get your followers out. Follow him right now on all social media. You can follow him at Larry Legend on Twitter and at Larry is Legend 1 on Instagram, man. To get in tune with the homie right now. But this has been a crazy day. That segment that we just had, I was looking at the timeline because the timeline has been moving quick as hell with this Diddy thing, man. First of all, how you doing, bro? And what's your take on what's going on right now?
Let's get to it, man. I told you about a month or two ago that I was gonna stay away from the Diddy topics because I actually know people close to the situation that was going on, and I just didn't want to, these are people I actually talk to, so it's tough. But today, I don't know if I could not say anything anymore. But what just transpired is crazy. I actually feel a little down. I picked my girl up from work before I started today, and I was looking down in the car, and she was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "They got Diddy raided both of his houses. He's down. He's done. It's over." I mean, he got raided by Homeland Security. I just want to know y'all take on this. I like I said, is dear to my heart. We grew up on this. We already knew he had bad on his name. But man, I don't know, man. This is
how I
putting him
feel
in
about it. I just want to say this real quick. So how I found out about it, I was getting ready for the show, and I saw like the KTLA. No, I saw TMZ say Diddy's house is getting raided right now in fucking Westwood. I was like, word. So I turned to KTLA. They had the fucking helicopter shot, and I'm like, oh shit! Like they said his Miami house was getting raided too, and I was like, okay, yeah, something crazy happened if both of your cribs are getting raided. Now, there's multiple questions I got about that. This is a question that me and Dante asked before we got on air. Did he had to have known and left the kids there? which is wild as hell. He had to have known because the lady on the news said that we think Diddy is on his way to New York. So Diddy has a lot of influence, a lot of power. There's no way he didn't know that was going on. On the anniversary of Kick in the Door, which is on Life After Death.
27 years.
This is crazy. He said Elliot Stabler has Justin hemmed up. Yeah, you saw, as Fab says, he just saw Justin and Christian out the other night, and now they, in cuffs, man. I just think this situation has been without. I don't want to get too much, and obviously what happened and things like that, but it kind of feels like it's all crumbling at one time. Like I can only imagine how you just a couple months ago, 6 months ago, me, Bang, shit, I had these same conversations you, Lara, about how great that Love album was. I'm like, man, he bringing R&B back.
Shit, I remember when he played it for us.
Yeah, exactly. You told me before the album came out.
I told you almost a year before the album came out.
Yeah,
so this shit fire.
You was like, he got some shit. Yeah, now look, now you got Nick Fury and Shield busting through your door. So it's like I don't.
Hey, yeah, bro, and we gotta remember, bro, the feds don't miss. So like, if they hit both your cribs at the same time, one, they knew something. One, they knew what they was looking for, and two, they probably found that shit. So like, let's be crystal clear. Like, this is like the crumbling of a dynasty. Everything we've heard so far is crazy, and it's funny because for years we've gone on and glossed over shit. But one thing we can say that's true. We all know for a fact that, the underbelly of hip hop and like how hip hop was founded was a lot of dirty money. So I think you're going to have a lot of secrets come out with a lot of different people as time goes on. Cause now a lot of those founders, you got to be real.
Ain't even just hip hop, bro. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying for the sake of what we're talking about. For the sake of the culture. You got to think that, prime example, Buddy, who was the real money behind Death Row, just got out, and Snoop Dogg showed him. So you're starting to So you're starting to see a lot of those timelines are starting to finally come together. And then with Puff, this shit is nuts. So like, ain't no telling what they're gonna find. I was joking with Scott, but I'm like, we're gonna find out by Friday that he really killed Pac for real. Like, it's gonna all types of shit is probably gonna come out. And
hey man, Keefy D is, locked up.
He telling.
He might be out here having a full ass conversation.
Yeah, like
he snitched on us. I'm talking about now. He might be having a full ass conversation. Look, if the Homeland Security, because that's who went did it. If Homeland Security did it, it's a wrap. Like the feds go up in your house, maybe. All right, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you could get away with some shit. Go ask DJ Drama. Homeland Security is
you got Angela Valdez knocking through your door, nigga. It's a wrap.
Yeah, Homeland, like when Homeland Security come in there, it's a little bit different, fam. So yeah, hey man, it's been fun. You know what I'm saying? We got bad boy classics. You know what I'm saying? But it's a wrap, G. I don't see how you beat any allegations. The crazy thing is, it's not just about the court of law. It's about the court of public opinion. Yeah. Diddy lives on the love, quote unquote, of the people. People, talk about 90s R&B and how 90s R&B was the greatest time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, who was the architect or one of the architects of 90s R&B? Sean Combs, ladies and gentlemen. All that's out the window. Greatest rapper of all time, died on March 9th. Yeah, and on March 27th, years later, your ass is being searched by Homeland Security. You got all of these stories out, whether true or untrue. The one thing that we know is Puff, public opinion, without it, he's done. So I'm looking to see who the next domino is. Who's the next contestant on the new version of the Summer Jam screen?
I hope not.
Now, but
I hope not. If people missed it, he just threw up the diamond.
I don't want nobody to see what I put up, but what I will say is,
hey man, I hope not.
They better leave my boy alone, man. He's doing good right now. Let that man be.
Hey, y'all heard they served Russell Simmons in Bali, fam. They got the Bali and served my G.
He's sitting Indian style.
Yeah, he's sitting. He like my son is in the back. He like my son is in the back. You know what I'm saying? He was, huh?
Yeah. Usher tried to be low. He waited till the Super Bowl.
How my son is in the back right now. That's how Russell Simmons was.
They said a certain LA producer. No, that certain LA producer been got away with murder, but we're not going to talk about that.
We ain't gonna talk about him either.
We ain't gonna talk about, but yeah, they serve. I read that they served Russell Simmons. Man, Russell Simmons was out there kicking it in Bali, and then somebody popped on his ass. Was like, "You've been served." He was like, "Fuck shit."
You know what's the crazy thing about that? I don't know. Did y'all see that Run DMC documentary that's on Peacock? It's actually very good, but I was watching the whole time. Russell Simmons, like every episode. I feel like Cat Williams. Nigga, don't you know we can see you? Like, he's on every episode, like a main player. And I'm like, okay, man. Like, I understand that's Rev Run's brother. I get it. But come on. Have some fucking shame, bro. And this to me, what you just said, Dante, and it kind of, I look at it like this is, it's hip-hop for sure, but we're really seeing all that 90s, early 2000s shit coming out to the forefront. I don't know if y'all saw that Nickelodeon documentary about how shit was going down. Nickelodeon days, bro. Nasty times, bro.
Bruh, that's why I feel so hurt, because I was just watching that shit yesterday. Yeah. I got logged out of my HBO Max, whatever. I got to it yesterday. I watched one episode and I just stood in front of the TV like this after it went on.
Me too.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like that shit was crazy. Because I always thought as a kid, some of that stuff was weird. And then you turn around, I wake up this morning or have a few hours of my day before this thing happens. This is another part of my childhood that's just going to shit. First, R&B Baltimore. Then now you got this nigga. R&B Baltimore. All of my music I grew up on. The only nigga I got now is who I mentioned before, who I won't mention again. That's all I got now. Snoop is my only hope. The rest of these niggas, man.
Snoop and Hov are the last I have. Like I can't defend anybody. If you're gonna see, like, my reaction if something happened to a certain Brooklyn rapper, I would be hurt like it happened to a family member of mine. Like y'all don't know. Like I would get really. Let's know the facts. Like
bro, if they take that man down, they are destroying the black family. You understand? That's why I'm going with it, bro. Y'all can't. Look,
let's talk about the dynamics of the black family.
The king of love is down. Now you better leave that man alone over there, man. He grew his dreads. He good. Leave him alone. I remember that video gonna come out of him mushing that girl in the face. And then all hell gonna break.
That shit come out every 2 years.
Yeah, I'm saying every 2 years it drop.
They can't wait for that to be on the news next time CNN pick it up.
Jay-Z assaults a woman. And this is we just got this from Rolling Stone. Says a source from Rolling Stone says 4 Jane Does and 1 John Doe already sat for interviews with the Southern District of New York investigators for investigation related to alleged sex trafficking and RICO case, nigga.
Oh!
RICO. You never want to hear RICO.
They say RICO in hip hop? Oh, nigga.
In hip hop. This is
nigga.
Rolling Stone.
Don't even clip this. Sky, I'm about to tell you right now. Don't even clip this. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. Don't even clip this. Because you talking about RICO and hip hop with Sean Diddy Combs, fam, we all going to jail. Like we on the screen. That's how far this shit go, fam.
Hey.
Everything that Diddy has done, we are all connected with. We all going to jail, fam. Well, baby, we gotta go. We gotta run. We can't even go to Bali no more. They out in Bali now. Where can we go?
I went to the Diddy shit when they did the 25-year reunion. I was in Vegas when they first did everything. I met Diddy. Diddy legit. I don't want to say this in the wrong way as a sentence. No Diddy. Diddy taught me how to Diddy bop, nigga.
See?
And now it's like if I do I've said this, I might go to jail too.
Going to jail.
It's tough, bro.
Are going to jail. All of us are going to jail. Anybody that has anything to do with hip hop and R&B, we all going to jail. We all connected. We are all connected.
Hey,
Nigga, I work in radio. I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. I was a rap.
I'm trying to stay out of it, but let's move from rap to
Yes,
rap.
please.
Let's move on to some
Please.
rap.
Please.
Because it was a guy who came out this weekend throwing, major jabs, major blows, major uppercuts, and it wasn't even the most surgical he could be. I'm talking about Kendrick Lamar. He went crazy on that record. I don't think it was like it wasn't like verse of the year, no crazy shit. It was just like, oh shit, somebody actually trying to challenge niggas on trying to be the best. You don't have that too often no more. Drake bowed out and said he want to be an R&B star.
Oh, I gotta say something about that too.
But like Kendrick has been, that nigga has been consistent with trying, like, all right, y'all niggas don't want to rap. I'm gonna make these art albums. I'm gonna just do these concept albums. But every once in a while, I'm gonna let you niggas know you don't want to fuck with me. Y'all talking about big three, nigga, it's just big me. I said, oh man. So I know we all have our opinions on these things, and people like to talk about this big three thing. So my question to y'all is, who is your big three? It don't have to be them three guys. Any of your big three current artists right now, or I'm just specifically rap though. Okay. That you just anticipate. Those are the three guys that you feel are the best. I start off with mine. Kendrick is one of them. Future is one of them. Two of the guys who are in this beef. And then my third is Freddie Gibbs. I'm not even biased. I've always thought he was that nice before we even became cool. So those are my big three. Who are y'all big three?
So this is like current active artists. Okay. And I just want before I answer, I got one more update. I'm sorry, I got to Garrett Kennedy, writer Garrett Kennedy says still trying to lock a fourth and fifth source on the info coming our way. Regarding Puff and Department of Homeland Security raid on his home in LA and Miami. But I am told he was detained for questioning on his way out of the United States of America.
No! He tried to run!
Did he try
to run?
He told his kids he was going to New York.
I'll be right back.
Get out the jam.
Fuck this big three shit. No. Fuck this big three shit. You mean to tell me that Diddy ran and left the kids?
He left the kids, bro.
Oh my God.
I'll be right back.
Where y'all shot?
Watch the dog. I'm going to New York for an hour. I'll be back tonight. Y'all
St. Patrick.
No bullshit. He probably told. He said somebody gonna knock on the door. Just let them know I'll be right back. And then we'll talk about this later.
It's gonna be
right. It ain't gonna be nothing major. Just a couple of guys in suits.
It ain't gonna be nothing big. Like
they ran through that bit.
It's fucking crazy, man. But to answer your question,
nah, not yet.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I don't know, man.
Wait a minute. No, y'all are telling Scott, fam, you are telling me that Justin and the other nigga, Christian, was in handcuffs.
Yeah.
And they daddy was like, yo.
Daddy was at customs.
Hey yo, Russ. I'm on my way.
That's not supposed to be funny. Look, this is not supposed to be funny.
No.
But when I tell you this is probably the worst moment in hip hop history. Like this right here takes the case. This is the worst moment in hip hop history. This is everything that these white people was saying in 1987 about how hip hop was. This is everything that they said. Nigga, Tipper Gore is gonna pop out of nowhere. Like I told y'all niggas, like everything. Like this is the whole reason why they put the parental sticker on the motherfucking albums, fam. You mean to tell me that Homeland Security raided this nigga and this nigga was like, oh, gotta go. Y'all on your own.
I'm not talking to the kids. And shout out to KE right here. They said, Yo, Miami is finna go live and delete the tweet. Imagine they live getting crashed. Yo, she also said, what's going on? No,
No, she didn't.
Right, did she let somebody say? Someone said Quincy about to start claiming I'll be sure again.
Yeah. That nigga was never my daddy anyway. He stole me too. That might be why Homeland Security there. They trying to get that boy man his son back. Like,
I don't know. I don't know this dude.
Man, thank you. He been
This
putting
is
me on
bad,
TV. He been doing all types of crazy shit.
This is bad.
His son.
This is bad. This is very, very bad. They said
this is bad.
This is a crazy comment.
But hey, for the niggas like me, who Big Three has always been Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. This is like Nas is the matter of fact, nigga. Nas is one of one officially because I'm scared for Jay. I'm scared for what might come down.
I'm scared. I'm scared for Jovito right now.
I'm not the only person I'm not scared for is Nas.
I know very closely.
Nas is the greatest.
Nas already won the. You know, they said him and Police used to fight in the back of cars like Ike and Tina. That was all he ever had on his name. After that, he said, "You know what?" And then he tried to date Nicki Minaj. He said, "Nah, something's off about her. I'm done. Send me to the Valley. Let me get this money. I'll drop these albums, and I'm gonna keep it pushing." Nas won. Ain't he about to buy some Rockefeller shit too or something? He trying to buy some Rockefeller shit.
Rockefeller, I don't know.
Man, he invested in some shit
on Dame, but to kind of pivot back on course a little bit, man, I'm gonna answer the question with the big three. So we're doing with current. Kendrick is my number one on mine. Kendrick, Future for sure. Which I don't think we need to let this verse overshadow the fact that is an incredible album, and he has another one dropping in like 2 weeks. But three is tough because, man, who would I have to put at three? Jay ain't put out an album in 7 years, so I don't think I can count Jay. It's just me. This is just my personal. I'm a big Dom Kennedy.
It's all about you.
So I'm putting Dom in my three. Like those very few rappers who I will stop and like listen to their shit, but I'm gonna go Kendrick, Dom, and my man Future.
When was the last time Dom dropped the album?
He dropped one a couple months ago. Like last year. No, it was last year. It was last year.
I thought that Hit Boy shit was the last year he dropped.
No, Dom dropped like last year, a year or two ago. Let me double check.
But yeah, no, my big three is shit. I'm not gonna lie, it's Dot, but I know Dot is more so of an artist, and I really expect him to take his time, take years in between. Even though now that he's not on the TV schedule.
Yeah, Dom dropped last summer. It was him and T-Fly put out the album. Yeah, but his solo album was 2021, West Side 3. But go ahead.
Okay, bet, yeah. But no, like now that he's off of the TDE imprint, we're gonna see how his release schedule is. So I mean, it's definitely Kendrick. Even though he's been on cruise control for the past few years, I still gotta go Drake. I mean, when he like we always say, the nigga can rap. Like we talk about his timestamp songs, we talk about songs where he chooses to rap. The issue is he never just does it, consistently. Like we've never gotten that project from Drake where he just gives you like 13, 14 rap songs. You feel me?
Nobody happier than Ohtani.
That is fact. That is fact.
Yeah, nobody even thought about that press conference he just had like 20 minutes ago.
Man, MLB just dodged a super bullet. But no, him, and then, damn, my third one, it fluctuates because I still have certain artists that I'll listen to consistently for a minute. But third active artist, lately I gotta go Cole because his features over the past year and a half, 2 years, he's really been versatile and hopped on a lot of different songs, and he really been, just rapping. So I would have to say the three we arguing about. Those are the big three.
Bang, come on, Bang. What's your three? Come on. It could be one of them, Griselda guys or whatever.
Nah. No, man, I don't really listen to rap like that no more. Like that's the crazy thing. Really. Like I don't really be listening to rap like that. But if I had to choose A3 in rap, it is probably Kendrick, Gibbs, and that's for all time purposes because Nas
he's still active.
He is still active.
No, what I'm saying is that was for because Nas gonna fuck around and be the last man standing. Nas gonna be in this bitch like Marlo Stanfield at the end of the wire, nigga. He might just punch a rapper just to see if he still got it. Then like, no, straight. No, it would probably be Kendrick, Gibbs, and
no Future Hendrix.
Cole.
Okay.
Cole. I gotta be in the ditch. See, I'm not as out as I used to be. So for Kendrick, I literally have to be in the car drinking. Like I have to be drinking and driving to really be in my
We
future
do
mode.
not endorse
But
drinking and
we
driving
don't
on the
endorse
Hoops
it.
N Network.
We don't
Allegedly,
endorse it. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Rico, fuck, they got me. God damn it. Me and
Fourth
Minton
down.
drinking and driving, it's got me in this Rico. These niggas is about to raid my crib right now. We heard you. But nah, I gotta be in a certain mode to listen to Future. I gotta be either at the radio station or I gotta be getting ready to like go somewhere. But like Gibbs, I can be anywhere. Like I could be anywhere doing anything, like listening to Gibbs, and Kendrick. Like if I'm like Kendrick, I can listen to in certain spots so he can lift my spirits up, or he can make me feel like I'm about to take on over the world. But Gibbs is probably right now. Like he's probably the one that I always anticipate when he drops. I'm already on it, so he would probably be on the top of my list.
I just want to say again,
but we don't
endorse
endorse that.
Network, H&B Media TV, and Pillars do not endorse
So that's
any
me.
drinking and driving.
Yeah,
So that's me.
We out here.
I said
Yeah,
I.
We got, but
out here. Pillars out here.
our sponsors, Pillars, do not endorse this.
We do not endorse.
Let's go. One thing before we get to the final topic, I just want to say this thing about Drake. I am a Drake fan. And this thing too, people think just because you say stuff about Drake that you're not a Drake fan. Like Drake fans act real LeBron James standish. Like if I have any critique about him, I can't. I like For All the Dogs. I'm one of the few people who really, really enjoy that album. But when it comes to rap music, and we from that era where you go back, and he talks greasy. If there's anybody I'm not worried about is Jermaine Cole. He probably was when they on that, they on a chitlin circuit right now. They not even in big cities. They on the Motown Review. I know he was looking for a Waffle House bathroom as soon as that fucking disc came out to go back. But Drake, I don't want to hear the little Wallow speech you had on stage yesterday. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. Get your ass in the booth, bro. I don't want to hear none of that. We like the things that came with it, bro. You gotta strike back, bro. Like, what did Magic say? You gotta get him back.
You gotta get him back.
You gotta get him back.
Get him back.
I don't want to hear none of that. Ain't no nigga better than me. I don't want to hear that, bro. Get in the booth. Booth. Kendrick is calculated. If you don't think he got a response, or he might be dropping an album. You said it, Dante. He's not on TDE no more, so he ain't got to go by nobody drop schedule. He might got an album on deck. And I also don't like how people say just because Kendrick don't drop recently that he can't say anything. This is hip hop music, man. Stop acting like some nerds in school, bro. If somebody go at you, you go right back. Like I don't give a fuck. He ain't dropped no album in 2 years. Like who cares? That's just where I'm at with it, man. But let's go to the last topic, bro. I know one thing, Laro, your Twitter is hilarious because you have arguments, people going at you for like 48 hours. Tell us what has happened with this last debate of the origin of drill music.
I need people to understand something. Hear us clearly. If you're not from Chicago, you don't know nothing about Chicago. I need y'all to hear me again. What Umar say? He say everything twice. If you're not from Chicago, you don't need to tell a nigga from Chicago about Chicago. You hear me?
Yeah.
We had niggas trying to say, and they said originally the statement was that drill music, it was inspired by Waka Flocka, and basically that we owe Atlanta drill music.
Who the fuck? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I just said, you're wrong. Hey, brother, that's where you're wrong. And I let him know, like, listen, man, the origins of where drill come from. Then they tried to challenge me and say, well, where are the origins from? I was in high school when Bump J was outside. I was in high school. I was leaving high school when King Louis was out. I would say that drill kind of came off of Bump J and Sly P and all of them guys and formed into something that was less artistic. I don't want to say not artistic, but the art of rap wasn't so much a bigger thing in this as was what you were living, was you living your raps. And that's what drill was. Like, they trying to argue with me about the sound coming from Lex Luger or coming from Atlanta and this and that. And it's like, somebody said it's the same sound as trap, but it's a different tempo to me. It is to me. It's a different tempo. But the point I'm making is you can't tell me from Chicago. Let me tell you something. Let me say this real quick. I had a guy who was actually a part of the creation of drill music. Okay. So we all know, if you're from Chicago, drill really starts in Dro City. It really starts on over there in Woodline area. If you know, you know. Pac-Man, King Louie, they invented and coined the term. They also invented the style. If you was outside at that time, the beats did not sound the way that they sound now. The beats didn't sound like what you hear from, Pop Smoke, and even what what Chief Keef and them was doing. The beats wasn't like that at the time. So to try to tell me that drill is trap because what you think, the people you think are the inventors and creators follow certain things from another artist. Everybody's influenced by everybody. If that's the case, somebody tried to argue me 50 Cent is the originator of drill.
This is crazy.
50 Cent, the originator of drill, because he talked about robbing and killing in his records. I'm like, 50 also talked about hustling. Like, drill music is about murder. Drill is a kill, nigga. I don't think people understand. Before it was that, it was let's do a drill. Let's go do a drill. We doing drills. We drilling out here. We drilling shit. That's about murdering. See?
Yep.
Trap music is about packing up some packs, serving them off, trying to be fly while you do it. It's not about killing your ops and all of that shit that everybody say now. So it's like we got the lines blurred. But a nigga who not from Chicago, a nigga whose address, whose area code ain't never been 773, ain't never been 312, his zip code ain't never been 606, nothing. You cannot tell me anything about the origins of trap music or drill music. Then, like I said, my homie is a part of the King Louis and the Pac-Man, so he knows. He was there. He wrote some of the fucking hits.
Right.
The nigga also chimed in like, that's cap. We didn't follow that shit, but niggas is arguing with me the whole. My mention's been full for 4 days with two knuckleheads.
And you know what's the funniest part, bro? When people who not from the city, and really with any type of thing, like I don't tell people about what city they from or what goes on. They be so passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent saying drill music is crazy. The 50 drill music is insanity.
Bro, it's not my fault that y'all started wearing True Religions because of Keith. Like, nigga, they tried to tell me that it wasn't no dreads in Chicago till Keith came out. That's a lie. Lil Wayne was everybody's favorite rapper at one point. He started having niggas who's growing dreads in 03, 04. What are we talking about? Like, to try to tell a nigga who lived this, everybody on this platform has actually lived through that shit.
Yeah.
Bang, you saw it because you was already over.
I was about to say, yeah, exactly.
Like, you can't tell.
Played it every day, y'all.
Bro. And the fact
Bang had them artists on Windy City Underground.
Man.
Do you know how many of them artists that I know? Like, that's the thing. And then it's like, from the city that we come from, we know people who's died behind this shit. We know things that, like what you just said, as far as like, we not involved in everybody else's street shit. We got our own street shit to worry about. And then when I say worry about it, I mean, I only need to know where O Block is, because my growing up, it was not called O Block.
No, it was Parkway.
It's Parkway.
Right.
But I just need to know where O Block is, so I won't ride by there.
Funniest thing ever. I left my BlackBerry in 2008 in the parking lot of that McDonald's across the street, and I had a business decision to make. I was at my homie house, and I was like, should I go back and get that my phone? My homie was like, nigga, I go RP my man's John Wren. He was like, yo, I'll walk over there with your ass. I don't give a fuck what they gonna do, nigga. So we walked over there. I was shocked the phone was still there, but this was like 2008. So this is before I was like before damn O Block. I never heard what O Block was. I was like, what O Block? Oh, you talking about Parkway? Like that's what I thought. With that big ass gate that looked like the fucking pit from The Wire.
And they got that stupid ass light. Yeah. Why you got that stupid ass stoplight right there? I don't need that. I need to get through this motherfucker. Bro,
yeah,
one time, I'm gonna tell you something.
Go ahead.
Hey, this is just about O Block. My sister stayed on 59th right off King Drive. So I had took King. I think I took South Chicago, took King down. Nigga, I had to stop at that stupid ass little light.
Yeah.
This little nigga came out and started spraying the block.
Nah, I be tempted to run that motherfucker every time I'm over there.
What? I went straight down the street. I'm gone. Fuck this light, flash, whatever.
almost hit a kid in a bite one time. He looked, and I was like, "You got it, big dog. Go ahead. You take the whole fucking street, bro. I don't want no problems. Go ahead.
I'm straight."
It's that and that long ass light. This is a little further. But that long ass light over there by Marquette Park on 63rd, bro. That shit all fucking day. And I be during the summer. You gotta look around like, all right.
Nah. You about over the where the Mexicans stay?
Yeah, over there. Yeah.
I used to work on 71st and Holman. Do you know how many times they roll past me throwing down the forks? And
that was every day.
Motherfuckers throw down the forks like throw down the forks like its price is right. They're just like.
I went to Cary High School. Yes, got him. Cary High School in the mid 2000s was the gangs United Nations. We had every gang up in there. It was GDs, Vice Lords, BDs, SDs, Kings, everybody, bro.
Like, I ain't gonna lie. When I meet somebody black and we be somewhere and we hear a Mexican person say nigga, and that one black person don't have a response, I'd be like, you went to Cary, didn't you?
100%.
You had to go to Cary. You're too comfortable with that shit. Like,
you're too comfortable.
Somebody on Twitter told me why you left. I'm like, what, you want me to fight every fucking day? Like, what the hell? Like, we were like, black people at the time was like 40% of the population, like, which was way higher than it is now. It's like 2% of the population there now, man. But Bang, what's your opinion on this? And we're gonna wrap this up and get on.
No, I have no opinion because it's dumb. Like, I wouldn't even go back and forth with no niggas like this. And this is not even because of who I am and what I've done. Now, this is where I can say, hey, I've been around and I've done it. All of these folks have been on my show. When I had it, I've hosted shows with these cats. I've hosted record releases, all of these things. I have been around them all. So for anybody in any other state to try to take credit for what they did, I'm sorry. Stop it. I know y'all be wanting to be involved in all of that stuff, and y'all want the New York credit. See, that's the thing. And if this was somebody from Atlanta, y'all got to stop doing this. Y'all want the New York credit. Y'all, since now a lot of stuff run through you all, y'all want the same credit that New York got. Yep. Or that LA got. Well, no, this is our shit, fam. And everybody took it, okay? New York took it. Y'all took it in a lot of cases. It went over to Europe. All of y'all took it. But it starts here. And the fact that y'all think it starts with Keith and them lets us know that y'all don't even know shit. All right? That's why Diddy going through the shit that he going through in the first place, because he didn't learn from the white people that was dealing with this shit in the damn first place. But y'all got to stop that shit. That shit, we know where drill come from. Mm-hmm. Even if you were not involved in hip hop like that, you know where it come from. All of Chicago know where it come from. And it is one of the most influential pieces of music in the last 25 years. And the crazy thing is, they didn't even mean it for it to be like that. At the end of the day, niggas is just trying to have fun. And they was just trying to kick it with the guys. But then all of a sudden it turned into a phenomenon. That's their shit. It ain't even my shit. I'm a part of it because of what I've done. I helped amplify it. Some good, some bad. But all of those brothers that's over there that I met that are really the basis of what we know is drill right now have all been good guys to me. So I'll be wrong to come up here and even try to falsify or even think about some of this shit that some of these niggas in another state is dealing with or trying to say. Drill is us. And that's where it come from.
And I want to wrap it up with this. I want to give a shout out to our guy Merk Murphy. Give a shout out to Peter Fan. By the way, he just had his birthday. Shout out to Peter. Peter, my nigga, man. I've been in LA for 10 years. I've seen Peter out here twice. Peter be moving around, man. But those were guys with like some of the guys also too on the front lines of getting that movement out. I remember being at the Complex 2010 when they were over there on Wabash shit. I remember we had a session. Pavy actually had Lil Durk on his album at the time. This was like 10 years ago. And I'll never forget, Durk was up in there, Louis was up in there, like all the top drill guys was in there. So to see, we know where the origin came from. To tell people that that's how one was, it's kind of crazy. But before we get you out of here, Larry, I just want to give one more update. We got one more update. This is Diddy news. Shit. So Diddy's jet has departed LAX, destination unknown, currently flying at 42,000 feet north of Puerto Rico. This is Jet Watch.
Wait.
Yeah, I saw another joint that said he going to Barbuda.
Yeah, this is Jet Watch. This is like
That
when they were
makes
trying to
no
figure out
sense.
where Ohtani was going. That's what that is. Yeah.
Before I get out of here, because I want to just drop this on them. Respect that culture. In order to respect this culture, you gotta respect where it come from. So don't challenge the Chicago nigga on no Chicago shit. Don't challenge no New York niggas on New York shit. And another thing I want to say is this: we didn't touch on it yet. We're gonna do it next week, but respecting the culture is also respecting women, especially 100%. Black women. So, nigga, if Diddy did it, he fucking did it, nigga.
Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up.
You know what I'm saying? That's all. And Drake stopped talking about fucking Meg Thee Stallion, man.
You got smoke for Meg. Yeah, you got smoke for Meg, but you ain't talking about Kendrick.
Crazy.
And Kendrick probably
about Meg again.
Respect culture.
Yeah, Kendrick probably cooked them while dressed like Colonel Taylor from Different World.
Well, man, he said something about Meg again.
Yeah.
No, just in general. Like he keeps saying goofy shit.
He put free Tory. He put free Tory
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that nigga lame anyway.
Yeah, man. But follow Laro, man. Follow him, Larry is Legend on Twitter and at Larry is Legend 1 on Instagram, bro. Always good to have you on here. We gonna holler at you next Monday.
I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all.
Yes, sir, bro.
Sir.
All right.
Now we're gonna get into some college basketball. We've got Mikey in the house, Junior_Solito on all social media platforms. Mikey, what's going on, brother?
What's the word, my guys? How we feeling?
Doing good, man. I feel like I'm updating news today, man. I feel like an actual media guy today. We've been updating the Diddy situation all day over here, man. What you feel about it? I mean, it's a topic everywhere. What's your feeling of what's going on? Nigga is fleeing the country. He heading to Puerto Rico and shit.
As somebody who's been to a couple of Diddy New Year's Eve parties, I plead the fifth.
Oh, Rico! Oh, you going to jail?
About to scrub the IG right quick. About to scrub the IG. My LinkedIn profile is me over there in a suit. I gotta switch it all up.
That boy going to jail, man.
That shit's crazy. I'll just say this ain't on the Patreon, so I'll just be careful. I'll just be careful what I say, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And now
the feds will get your Patreon too. Fuck all that.
The feds gonna have to garbage their email and shit.
Don't say it on the Patreon.
They got the 5. The feds got the 5 and the 10.
Don't text me nothing, fam. I don't need nothing.
Man.
Die with it.
Let's move on, man. Let's talk about some college basketball, man. March Madness is kicked off this past weekend. We got Sweet 16 coming this weekend as well. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I didn't watch any of it. In fact, not only did I not watch any of it, I watched no sports this weekend. And what I try to do over the weekends now is I try to go sport free, which I won't be doing during the playoffs, obviously. But we are still 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks away from the NBA playoffs. I try to go air silent during the weekend. I ain't tweeting nothing. And why is it when you don't tweet, especially me, people think I'm dead? Like people was texting like, "You all right? What the fuck you talking about?" Yeah, I'm all right. You ain't tweeted. What the fuck you I ain't tweet? You think I'm dead or some shit? I don't want to see the same topics that I see Monday through Friday on a fucking Saturday, bro. But there's a lot of games this week. I have absolutely no idea what happened. But that's why we have a team full of people who know what the fuck is going down. Mikey, tell us about what happened this past week in March Madness, and then we'll get to the Sweet 16.
Well, first off, Bang, how's that bracket looking at yours?
It's kind of decent. No, it's kind of decent. I didn't have I got my Final Four is intact. I got Illinois versus Duke as my final. That's my final 2 with Illinois winning the thing. Hey, Shannon over there killing, fam. That boy looking
He's going crazy.
Real nice.
He's going crazy. That needs to be somebody that the Bears target, man. My bracket's looking decent. You know what's crazy is on the Midwest region, I'm perfect. I got every single game right. But what really messed me up is the East side. But my Final Four is still intact. So I went with the Final Four of UConn, Arizona, beating North Carolina. I got Houston.
Oh, you said that right as Damian put this. Carolina, the end.
Yeah, all right. Caleb Love's bum ass is gonna turn into prime Jordan against them for some reason and cook RJ Davis. But so my Final Four was UConn, Arizona, Houston and Tennessee. So, I think there were some upsets in the first round. Not really nothing major. I think the most major one was obviously Oakland beating Kentucky and Coach Cal and his NIL team. That was a very young team. I know a lot of people had them going far, but they show signs of playing that same way, in the regular season. So, yeah, yesterday and Saturday with the, going into the second round, the favorites in round 2 were 17-1. So whereas last year it was a fucking wild Cinderella story. You had FAU, you had San Diego State making runs, people knocking off people all over, the top seeds. This year it's been pretty much chalk, man. All of the 1 seeds are alive. We still got, the 2 seeds are alive. Illinois is at 3. So, Bang, did you catch any of the games this weekend? Any of the OT games?
Last night that Houston Texas A&M game, and I had Texas A&M beating Houston. That one right there was probably the best game of the tournament to me because first of all they played each other early in the season, and it was same thing, knockdown, drag out. Think that game went into overtime as well. One of the Texas A&M best players didn't play in that game, but it was knockdown, drag out, tooth and nail. Those are the games that I like to see up in the tournament. I forgot who Oregon played and they lost to. I think it was Creighton.
Yeah, yep. So that's another one. Yeah, and that was in, like how you said, yesterday was probably one of the best games, and it was hard to top, Creighton and Oregon Saturday. That was double OT. My girl is coming out to the room. I'm on the east side. I'm on the East Coast, so my girlfriend's coming out at like 1:15 in the morning. She's like, "You're still watching these fucking games?" And I'm like, "It's double OT," And I had a parlay. Yeah, so that game was really good. NC State, Oakland went to OT. The refs were all over the fucking place in that game. You guys probably, those who follow me, saw me tweeting about it. I thought the moment was too big for the refs. But Houston A&M, man, I think if Wade Taylor was able to show up in the first half, I don't think Houston wins that game. I think, I think Texas A&M, would have took him out right. He had 1 point in the first half. I think he went off for about 18 in the second half. That was a really good game. And, now we go into the Sweet 16, on Thursday and Friday. So we got UConn and San Diego State. We got Illinois versus Iowa State. That's probably, one of the better games for Thursday. And then you have, Damien's Tar Heels are going against the number 4 Alabama Crimson Tide. We got Clemson versus Arizona. Clemson was the only team as an underdog yesterday to actually win against Baylor. Baylor deserved to lose. They went like 16 of 26 from the free throw line. They knocked them free throws down, and they're advancing. We got Houston versus Duke, which is going to be really good. Marquette and North Carolina State. North Carolina State right now is, they're the 11th seed. So that's probably – that's the Cinderella right now.
I almost put NC State in my Final Four. Almost.
They've been hooping.
Because I don't think that they're going to lose to Duke twice. That's the only reason why I picked Duke over North Carolina. I got NC State. I got Duke and NC State in my Elite Eight in that region.
I mean, that'll be nice. I mean, they've been clicking ever since the ACC tournament, and they went ahead and they knocked off North Carolina in that. So that's going to be a good matchup. Marquette got Tyler Kolek back, and he was fucking diming. He was doing it all for them. It's going to be a close one there. That one's going to be a really close game. You got Purdue versus Gonzaga. Gonzaga, honestly, all year looked kind of mid to me. They weren't really doing shit. And all of a sudden, gets to tournament time. They're giving them a 5 seed, and they're fucking hooping. I mean, I think they realistically are going to beat Purdue. I think they can beat Purdue. I think that's how well they've been playing. And then we have what I think is going to be the best game of the weekend is Creighton versus Tennessee. Creighton was one of my sleeper teams to get to the, and one of my brackets to get, pretty far into the tournament. They have everything you need. They got decent point guard play. They got a decent off-ball guard in Trey Alexander. They got the 7-footer in Kalkbrenner, and Shireman can fucking shoot that bitch and create off the dribble. And, he's lefty. So that's going to be tough. Tennessee, they got Dalton Connect, for For the Bulls fans out there, that's to be another guy that, we scout because that's somebody that's going lottery. 2 guard, 6'4", can shoot that bitch. White boy, got some bunnies on him. So, we got a really good Sweet 16. Looking at the board, I can't be mad with any of these teams, though, especially the way North Carolina State has been playing. So, we're gonna see. I'm rooting for Illinois. Obviously, I want Illinois to get to the Elite Eight and face UConn. I think that we're gonna get that. I think Illinois and Iowa State, they match up pretty well because they're both gonna play defense. But I just think Illinois has a little bit more scoring power with Terrence Shannon Jr. Like Bang said, he's fucking hooping. You cannot stop him. When he gets downhill, you cannot stop him at the rim. Marcus Damascus hooping. You got Coleman Hawkins. And, they're going to be going up against, a tough Iowa State team, but they're, one of their best players. And Lipsy has a banged up shoulder. And I kind of saw him favoring it a lot towards the end of that game the other day with, who did Iowa State just beat? Whoever. So, it's gonna be a good matchup. I know this year, I've seen you guys, we're talking about earlier about the top 5 players in the draft. None of them are really in the tournament. But it's still been a really good year, I think, for college hoops, and especially for the tournament, because it's really, we're getting all of the, the top schools this year.
Definitely, man. Definitely. That concludes our college basketball conversation, man. It looks like it's going to be some good games on tap for this weekend. Let's pivot to the NFL, which is what we all love to talk about on this show. This is this show's main thing we like to talk about is the National Football Association, National Football League. And don't shoot me, Roger Goodell. Yeah, man. So it started its line season. It's been line season, but we're officially 1 month away from the NFL draft today. And you're starting to get people figure out, what's going to happen at the number 2 picks and number 3 picks. We all know Caleb Williams is going number 1. And if you heard Ryan Pohl's comments, which we'll talk about in the local hour, there shouldn't be any more conversation. If you're a Jersey guy, I'm not a Jersey guy anymore. And even if I was, I would wait till a motherfucker made a couple Pro Bowls. I think we need to learn our lesson for the last couple of years. But you just need to figure out what color jersey you're going to get because it's going to be Caleb Williams. There's been a lot of dialogue on what the New England Patriots going to do. Are they going to trade back? We all heard Arizona Cardinals are looking at people trading back. But now today, the big bomb that came out today, Tom Pelissero says that there's not 100% sure where the Commander's going to go at number 2, but they're hearing that they're going to take JJ fucking McCarthy as the number 2 overall pick. Today, we have the owners' meetings that are going on in Florida. All the different coaches and GMs are meeting the media. Shout out our guy, Herb Howard, who is there right now. He had a good question from Mike Tomlin that we'll get into later. Shout out to Rome in the chat. He said, my Drake made propaganda has failed. There's nothing better from Bears Twitter to know that Rome has failed or something. So we are happy about that. But, basically what, we heard Jim Harbaugh. He said, he was saying glowing things about JJ McCarthy like that was his fucking child. And I do think JJ McCarthy is going to be drafted higher than he probably needs to. But I'm not buying this number 2 overall shit. It's line season. I don't see that happening whatsoever. I think this is something that we saw Will Levis last year when he was getting hyped and that he was going to go higher than he really went. I don't see that's going to happen. But I do think there's going to be some franchise out there that is going to put their job on the line for JJ McCarthy, which makes no goddamn sense to me. I want to go to Dante first, man. Dante, what do you think about this rumor? Do you think there's any truth to it, or you're not believing anything that the Commanders are saying about JJ McCarthy?
I believe the rumors about JJ McCarthy, and I believe that the reason you're seeing John Harbaugh push it so much is because he wants Marvin Harrison to fall to him at 5. But I think there's absolutely, some fire where we see this smoke. I think it's something where, some guys are always able to shoot up the draft board for the draft. We've seen it a few times throughout the years. And, you have a guy come out of left field to get drafted, and we're like, well, we didn't expect that. But I think you have someone like Harbaugh who is well respected, vouching for JJ, and everybody saying that, even though he was in the heavy run offense at Michigan, he'll be able to, translate to the National Football League. I think it's definitely some smoke to it. I'm not necessarily sure the Commanders will do it, but I could see, if Minnesota is able to trade up to 4 with Arizona, who already has 27. So if you can get 2 first-round picks from Minnesota, you can end up with 3 in this round, 3 in the first round, and, get something really nice. So That's a possibility. So I could definitely see him going in that top 4. It's not out of the realm of possibility at all.
Bang, you call cap, or you think that the Commanders might actually put their life on the line for JJ McCarthy?
I think the Commanders will actually put their life on the line with JJ McCarthy. And I'm gonna say that until Jalen Daniels Pro Day. Because I think JJ McCarthy is slotted as at least the number 3 quarterback right now. I think the Drake May hype and buzz has fallen. I think the fact that JJ McCarthy is a national championship winning quarterback at a blue blood program will help him. Like, if let's be real, let's look at the optics. Drafting the quarterback out of Michigan or drafting the quarterback out of North Carolina. The one from Michigan sounds better, especially if you have Jim Harbaugh uttering the words, one of the best combine performances I've seen or we've seen ever. Like, that's something that he uttered. So if I'm the Washington Commanders, I could go with Jaden Daniels, but is Jaden Daniels a one-year wonder? Now you got to remember when he was at Ohio State, not only was he not good, they was happy to get his ass out. Like, the players basically took his shit and was like, man, get buddy ass the hell up out of here. He went to LSU, got around talent, and exploded. But then you got JJ McCarthy, who, if you listen to the reports, people have been saying since he got there, dude is a one-on-one. Now, I'm on record of saying that JJ McCarthy will be the head coach of Nazareth High School in LaGrange Park by his 30th birthday. I stand on that. But when I look at the Washington Commanders, I look at quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins, Mark Ripken, Joe Theismann, Doug Williams. Quarterbacks that are pocket quarterbacks. They play a pro-style system. Even though the times is different, I look at quarterbacks like that succeeded in Washington, and I look at quarterbacks like RG3, who did not succeed in Washington. And Jaden Daniels is more like RG3 than he is JJ McCarthy. So no, I would not be surprised if they went with JJ McCarthy as the number 2 pick. In fact, I expect them to do it.
Mikey, what you think about this JJ McCarthy smoke?
I would be buying it if the Washington Commanders had a quarterback on the roster that JJ McCarthy could sit behind. Right now, they don't have a single quarterback on their roster. So JJ McCarthy, in my evaluation from everything that I see and how I feel about him, he's somebody that needs to sit at least, at minimum, a year. At minimum, he needs to be drafted and sit and learn behind somebody. At number 2, that's fucking ridiculous. I can't see it. You can tell me Drake May could start day 1. You could tell me Caleb Williams could start from day 1. Maybe you could sell me on Jaden Daniels. I'm not high on him. You could probably tell me Bo Nix could start on day 1 just because he's older. The motherfucker's at least like 30. He's like 33 years old, so like he can go out there and start right away. But JJ McCarthy is young. He's young. It's the same shit as Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. He's played very little college football as the starter, and to go ahead and throw him in right away, obviously, he held it down for Michigan. It's apparent by winning the national championship, but I don't think he's somebody that you can go in there, throw to the fire week 1 and say, okay, go ahead. That's how we see these young quarterbacks failing right away. They're set up to fail. So I think it makes sense for Minnesota to trade up and take him. I still think if the Commanders stay put at number 2, they will take Drake May. And that's, and I think that's a good pick for them. But if anybody's going to take JJ McCarthy, it probably will be Minnesota. And I think they can afford to, with what their current infrastructure is of having Sam Darnold on a 1-year, $10 million deal, that they can draft JJ McCarthy, trade up, lock in their guy if that is who they truly believe in, and then let him, learn behind Sam Darnold for a year. But at number 2, that's bold. That's bold. That's bold. At number 2 with no veteran quarterback, I mean, the best veteran quarterback on the market right now is Ryan Tannehill. So are you saying we're going to take JJ McCarthy at number 2?
It's funny. They won't do this, but I wouldn't mind Tannehill as a backup for Caleb Williams. They're not going to do that, but I wouldn't mind that. But go ahead.
I mind it. He's ass, but
no, I'm saying I'm talking about as a back. I'm not saying I'm talking about as a backup. Like you more confident in Brett Rippon as a backup?
I feel like we can go somewhere else. Like hell no. I don't want Ryan Cunningham near my football team.
Actually, I'm going to add that to the local hour. I want to talk about backup options.
Well, you already got it, Brett Rippon. That's it. That's who they paid.
Hey man,
that's the backup, bro.
I do like Ryan Tannehill on the Commanders. I do.
I think that works. With Cliff Kingsbury is, he's not going to start all 17 games. But if that's the route you go, they definitely need a veteran quarterback there. Looking at this list, he's the best one. You go to your Brian Hoyers, your Nate Sudfelds, Blaine Gabbert, Carson Wentz. They're not going to do that again. Trevor Siemian. So I don't see them taking. I don't see them taking him at number 2. Man, that would be lofty.
Like I said, I do think JJ McCarthy goes top 4. I do think Minnesota makes sense. I would be stunned if the Commanders did that number 2. You do all these things to set you up for success, and you go for fucking JJ McCarthy, a guy who, Harbaugh didn't let throw the ball like that. Like that's what's like crazy to me. And I still think, unless Jaden Daniels, who I've not been big on either, like people who want Jaden Daniels, like, why would I get a worse version of Justin Fields? Like, I would have just fucking kept Justin Fields. Like, the whole little conversation about the Bears should look at him, like, and even Ryan Poles, they like, yeah, like, I'll be there for a little bit, like at the pro day, like, AK, I'm just going to see Malik Neighbors, like,
right, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. That's why he's there.
That's where I'm going, and he's not even going to the Drake May, and I do think Drake May stock has fallen a little bit, but to me, Drake May still makes sense in number 2 if I'm Washington. But let's move on to our next topic, man. Something real quick. We ain't got to spend too much time on this, but with the owners' meetings and things like that, they're voting on new rule changes. And today, the hip drop tackle has been banned in the NFL. And I don't really have like a strong opinion on it, because I understand what the NFL is trying to do. Players do get hurt off that, even though it is funny they keep talking about this player health shit, but you're trying to add an 18th game, and they're probably going to add more games than that. But the NFLPA don't like it. I've seen a couple players don't like it, and I don't like it. At the end of the day, this is a contact sport. And I'm not trying to get on the high horse. It's football and we're men. People get hurt. But no, it's a contact sport. You're going to get hurt. And I think if you're NFL, if you're a defender, it's already hard for you to play defense as it is. To me, this makes this even more difficult for the defender to play football. And I just feel like it just doesn't line up. And where are you going to actually let the defender have a little bit more freedom than he currently has? And how do the referees influence that? And there's going to be a game. There's going to be a big game that I know is going to probably be ruined because of this rule, because it's going to take a while for these players to actually know how to do that. I do feel in a year from now, this is going to be a rule that players are going to want to get, repealed. And I think that they're going to probably go at the owners' meeting this time and see how did this work in year 1. I just don't like it. In general, it just doesn't make too much sense to me. And with the other thing, we got the tush push is going to stay, which we all kind of knew that was going to happen. But Dante, you tweeted you a little different this morning, that you didn't have a problem with it. Why don't you have a problem with this new rule change?
Mainly because this one was sparked by the swinging hip drop. It's not really necessarily the tackle as a whole. And I think a lot of times it's going to be a lot like what we saw with the horse collar. Well, when it first comes out, you'll see a lot of different calls where it might not be the right call, but in a few years, probably 2 seasons max, it'll be like where you barely see it called. I think we don't see that many horse collars these days, and when you do, it's just a blatant horse collar. So I think the plays where you see a defender whip himself into a guy, and I think we saw when Mark Andrews got hurt. That was one of the plays that really sparked a lot of the outrage about it. And so we've seen it, and I think they're going to eliminate that play in particular. But I think, like you said, out the gate, you may see it get called a little bit too much, but there's nothing to worry about. At the end of the day, it's about player safety. I understand we keep talking about defenders having less and less leeway into what they can do. But in situations like this, you don't want to see people, tearing their ACLs, breaking ankles, doing shit like that because of this type of tackle. I damn near think this is the tackle that got Dak hurt. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's something that they just want to get rid of. So it's nothing wrong with it.
Bang, what you think about the new rule change?
I ain't gonna front. Every time I see that version of the hip drop tackle, I cringe. Like I really cringe because I look at like not just about player safety. I'm looking at player legs, fam. Like, you can come back after a broken leg. It's not like concussions and stuff like that. You might be done for a little bit, but you're able to play. So I don't want to go too overboard there. But still, when I see that version of the tackle, I cringe. It just don't look right. It just don't feel right. So I don't have no problem with this. Like, they're not banning it all together, so people need to stop with the doom and gloom and shit. But you wouldn't want nobody doing that tackle to you if you caught an interception and the offensive lineman did a hip drop tackle similar as that. Your shit done. So it's the same thing from the offensive side.
Mikey, am I alone here in being the only one who doesn't like this rule?
Yeah, for sure, bro. Don't nobody want to see that shit. Like, I feel like there's plenty of other ways that you could tackle somebody without having to go to that. And I mean, the numbers prove it and they show it that there's some nasty fucking injuries that happen from that. A lot of them are unnecessary. So I'm fine with it. I don't care. I was a little bit more interested in some of the other rules that were proposed, like the Philadelphia Eagles. They got it turned down, but instead of punting on fourth down, they opted for an option that it would be 4th and 20, and they were allowed, like a team would be allowed to go for it. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's why it was denied. They probably said, "Fuck out of here with that shit." But yeah, I don't fuck with that. So I'm glad that they got the hip drop out.
All right, let's move on to another topic that happened at the owners' meeting today. Mike Tomlin, coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, met with the media. Shout out our guy Herb Howard of the Bigs. He had a good question for Mike. I heard Herb on Rich Eisen this morning. Oh, shit, I know that voice, my guy. But he asked Mike Tomlin about the Justin Fields trade and if this is going to be a competition. And Mike Tomlin said some things that Mikey and Dante, y'all were echoing on the show a couple days ago, last week, where he basically said that he said that Justin is young, he still has a lot of talent. Or the quote that he used and pause, he said he still got a lot of meat on them bones. Very crazy, very crazy. What made you go diverse? But said that as of right now, Russell Wilson is in pole position to be the starter, but that Justin will have an opportunity to compete. And so what I took that as this, and y'all correct me if y'all think I'm wrong, I took it as, yeah, he's a starter right now because we ain't began OTAs, we ain't began any off-season training. We're still, 2 months away from mini camp. We're 4 months away from training camp. So yeah, as of today, he's the starting quarterback. But it sounds like this is going to be an open competition come late July and August, where our guy Justin Fields might have an actual opportunity to win the starting position. And that's what Ryan Poles echoed today. We'll get more in depth about Ryan Poles' comments in the local hour, but what he did say was we want to do right by Justin, and said that I went to Flu's house to call Justin and had a good conversation and told him about we felt this was the best opportunity for all parties involved. And it sounds like that Ryan Poles really did Justin the solid, because it sounds like Justin will have a great opportunity to win his job. And one thing that's underrated here, that skill wise, Justin didn't have as good of a season as Russell Wilson, obviously, but that locker room has a lot to do with it. The locker room in any of the teams that Russell Wilson has been on have not fucked with Russell Wilson. And I feel like this locker room, a young locker room, guys who are ready to win, this defense is ready to win. George Pickens is going to want a good quarterback to throw to him. I feel like they're going to draw more to, mesh more with Justin. Now, Justin's going to have to go out there and have a great camp, a camp that I haven't seen him have in the last 2 camps that I covered. But I feel like it's possible for him to do that. And it really sounds like Mike Tomlin really believes in Justin. We all know he was a fan of him coming into the 2021 draft. But it sounds like this is an actual opportunity here for Justin. Dante, what you think about what Mike Tomlin said today?
Oh yeah, first of all, that's one of the countryest things you could ever say. There's a lot of meat left on them bones. I think everybody's grandmother has said that shit.
No diddy.
Very Bama. No diddy.
Yeah. That's why I didn't take it in that way, because I knew what he was saying. Like my grandmother said that before.
That's definitely gonna be on it. It is what it is. The next episode, Cam.
100%. They definitely gonna say something about that. Yeah. But no, I think everything that Ryan Poles has said has actually been factual. He really did try to look out for Justin, and this was the best situation for him. We talked about it last week where we said we do believe that Justin will get an opportunity to play. And I think this statement lets me know that he probably will get opportunity sooner rather than later. And this is really Mike Tomlin's way of subtly telling Russell Wilson, don't think shit sweet. Like, I know you didn't, posted your videos and you have a great PR team has done all the shit with the Steelers, but nah, bro. If he's not performing, I think they're going to give Justin every opportunity to win that job and keep that job. So they just echo, what we thought was going to happen, but this just lets me know that it may be sooner rather than later that, you see Justin under center starting for the Steelers.
Bang. Well, what you think about this? Think our guy Justin is going to be starter week 1? What you think about this? Or is it just coach speak?
That's just coach speak, and you're talking to the master of coach speak. Like, I don't think people understand that my man Mike Tomlin is the king of coach speak. He tells you that coaches run away from coaching. All right, so coach speak. I think he does think that Justin oozes talent, and you would ooze talent too if you got him at the pick that you got him at. So I believe that's part of it too. But let's be real. There's questions if Mike Tomlin is going to be around with the Pittsburgh Steelers after this year.
That's also true.
So, that coach speak could be leading him to a whole nother city. So, yeah, coach speak. Shout out to that. Shout out to Mike Tomlin.
Is coach speak or real shit?
I think it's real shit. If anybody's watched Russell Wilson over the last couple of years, how can it not be real shit? There's the possibility there that he might just sit the bed and give it up. So there's obviously, we've all been saying it. We're Bears fans. We think that Justin still has some untapped potential and that the skill is there. He's young. What is he? He's only 24, 25. So I don't find it as coach speak. I know that he's somebody that's going to incite confidence because they have a ready defense. That defense is ready. We've discussed this before. I think that they're looking to win now. And going ahead and getting somebody like Russell Wilson and Justin Fields is a solid backup, as a solid backup option because you have somebody that has started games. You have somebody that started games in the NFL for the last couple of years, So I think that, I said it last week that I think Justin will actually get a legitimate shot to compete for the job. I know that there was a report last week from Jeremy Fowler from ESPN that said there's people within Steelers camp that think if Justin lights it up early in spring that they'll just go ahead and release Russell Wilson before the season starts. So there's obviously people there within the organization that are rooting for Justin Fields, and they think that they'll be able to do better with him in their building than the Bears were. So we'll see, but it's going to be interesting. That is going to be the number one quarterback story, I think. It's going to be a top three. It's going to be a top three. It's
probably going to be our quarterback who's going to be the story.
No, I don't think so. No. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers coming off the Achilles, and then it's going to be what's going on in the Steelers, and then probably the rookie quarterbacks. But all eyes are going to be on that bad man in New York first.
A man who's to be locked up as well. Aaron Rodgers' crib. Anyway, let's go on to NFL Hall of Famer. Everybody's talking about the 2024 draft, but let's talk about the 2025 draft. Mr. Primetime himself, Deion Sanders, was on a podcast. He was on $1 Million Worth of Game, which is Gilly and Wallow, one of the best podcasts out there. And promoting his new book. Prime got a new book. I don't have the name of it. That's my fault as a Prime Truther. I should probably have that book, but I don't have the book name. But anyway, he basically was talking about the NFL draft. He said some bullshit last week, which everybody was saying about Caleb shouldn't want to play in the cold, like the nigga not from DC, like he didn't play in Oklahoma. But now he's saying the same thing about his son Shador, which I also think is funny, considering them niggas play in Colorado. But he said that, next year he feels that his son will go top 4, and he feels that Travis Hunter will go top 4, which is he's actually treating as his, adopted son, kind of. And that wasn't a hot take. I do believe both of those two will probably go top 4 if Travis can actually stay healthy, because he got knocked out.
Shador ain't going no top 4. Fuck that. Stop.
That's a terrible quarterback class next year.
That's why it's not going 4. It was a terrible quarterback class a couple of years ago, and the first quarterback that was taken was the 20th pick. Yeah, here's
a question. A couple of years ago, was them quarterbacks better than what Shador did last year?
You say what?
Was any of them quarterbacks who it took so long for him to go to, were any of them better than Shador was last year?
That's last year. He's not in this draft.
Okay,
that's
fair.
this year now.
That's fair.
That's this year now. I don't think. Look, I love Dion and his family. Love Dion and his family. Shador not gonna have the season he had this year over there, because now it's tape.
That's
right.
True.
They had that JSU, you know what I'm saying, Tevin Campbell, boys in the hood, music and behind and shit, you know, tape and shit last year. This year, they got tape. They got tape. So I'll say this: if Shador has the year he has this year, this year, Shador will be the number 1 pick in the draft. I just don't see it, and I also don't see it because his daddy is putting way too much pressure.
And that's what I was about to say. I feel like he's expecting him to be top 4 because that's his father and also his coach, Travis Hunter as well. But this is the thing that stood out to me, which I don't disagree with Dion much, but this one I want to say, fuck out of here. He says he has a list of teams that he doesn't want Shador or Travis Hunter to go to. So in his mind, he knows where he wants them to go to. So he doesn't want them playing in the cold, things that nature. The cold shit is stupid to me because outside of you playing in Colorado as it is, you're in the fucking NFL. So you're going to be playing teams in the cold, whether it's in the regular season and if you're in the playoffs, you're 9 times out of 10 going to be playing a team that's in the cold one way or fucking another. And if you're a good quarterback, if you're as good as you think you are, what fucking weather shouldn't matter what you're playing in anyway. But this is the issue I have, saying that he said he's going to Eli Manning this thing. Now, there's one thing, as I've said on this show for months now, we got to stop bringing up the Eli Manning thing because you niggas are not Archie Manning. Y'all do not have the Manning last name. They are the first family of the fucking NFL. You got Archie Manning, who's got power within these franchises and these front offices with Roger Goodell. You got Peyton Manning, who was on the fucking quarterback Mount Rushmore. They had pool that a lot of people don't have. And no disrespect to Prime, but Prime ain't got that kind of pool to be pulling some shit like that. And I also think it's bad. Now, I think there's a lot of people out there, and I'm not 100% disagreeing with y'all, who think that the draft shouldn't be a thing anyway. I personally, and this might be an old head take, I personally feel like if you're a rookie, you shouldn't choose where the fuck you go, but we're not here to debate that. But if you're a bad team, if you're a top 4, like he said, he expects them to be top 4. If you're a top 4 team, 9 out of 10, you're god awful. So it's going to be a team that's cold. It's going to be a team that doesn't have the best organization, and you're not going to be able to do that. Even if you could get away with it with Shador, right? You're not getting away with 2 of them. Like, eventually people are going to be like, get the fuck out of here. And that, to me, you're doing too much and you're fucking up shit where it's like, I get the power and player empowerment. I have no problem with that. But eventually we're doing too much. And Prime just ain't got it like that in that kind of capacity with trying to, puppet master the league. So I'll go back to you, Bang. I feel like I cut you off mid-sentence. What do you feel about what he's saying as far as saying he doesn't want his guys to go to certain teams?
Don't nobody want them to go to certain teams. Right? They don't want Caleb Williams to go to the Bears. I remember back in the day, nobody wanted players to go to the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, it is what it is. But if you're Joe Burrow, you can go to the Cincinnati Bengals and change things. If you're Caleb, you can do that. Like, what Dion gonna do? He gonna make a way for him to go to the LA Rams? Because that's the only team I could think of. Like, when Dion says what he says, the only thing I could think of is the LA Rams. Matt Stafford's wife wanted him to retire this year. She wanted him to retire with Aaron Donald. So what she thinks that, well, what Dion thinks, like, oh yeah, Matt Stafford retires. Oh man, LA, here we come. Or things don't work out with Derek Carr. Oh, let's go to the Saints. Dome, you know what I'm saying? You'll be straight. Looking like Aaron Brooks out there or some shit. Like, that's what he wants? Like, come on, Dion. You gonna mess around and put your son in a situation that he don't need to be in. Like, Eli Manning was able to do what he did because he's in a similar situation as Deion Sanders would be. his daddy is affluent. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got to worry about certain. They can take that L. We be all right. Fact of the matter is, he still went to the Giants. He got them 2 Super Bowls. You better damn well be sure that Shador is like that, because it's not just about him. It's about the players that come behind you. They will fuck it up for players that come in if they mess this shit up. Dion got to chill, man.
That's what I'm at. I know, Dante, you've been one of the people I know who said that you're not a fan of the NFL draft or just drafts in general. What do you think about what Dion said? Do you think he has a point, or he's tweaking the situation?
I think he's tweaking in this situation for the very point that Bang just made. I think Dion and his kids have the cachet to do this, because if it backfires and Shador don't go to the league, guess what? His father's a multi-millionaire. He'll be okay. But all those other kids, it can really fuck things up for them. So I think in that aspect, he really is tweaking with this one. Also, it's 10 and counting, but teams have a stadium, indoor stadium. So like a lot of these teams, you'll be okay. So I think that's overstated. The whole we're not playing in the cold, because a lot of cold weather teams already have a quarterback. You look at Buffalo with Josh Allen. You look at I guess we can consider Baltimore a cold weather city with Lamar Jackson. Cincinnati, they have Joe Burrow. Cleveland, they have 2 quarterbacks. The list goes on, but you have a lot of quarterbacks in those cold weather cities already. So all of that, it sounds good, but at the end of the day, I think those guys are gonna go where they're drafted to, highest draft stock, get the most money. So at the end of the day, that's what it's about. I think Dion is trying to do everything he can to really position his kid to be a high draft pick, and probably maybe sell a couple Wolf tickets, because like you said, the tape is really going to be out this year, and we're going to see what happens with Shador. But I mean, if anybody's putting a lot of pressure on him, it is his father. Like we saw his comments today about, I came from, I beat adversity. I came from a small private school. Nobody expected me to do this. But then, of course, naturally, everybody said, well, yeah, nigga, your father's rich. So, like, you still had advantages that others didn't have. So I think this is another one of those things where Dion may not be Archie Manning, but he's trying to, work his one to get up there so that he can position his kids to have the best draft possible.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where I'm at it as well with it, man. I just, it's just too much in my personal opinion. Just let these kids, get drafted and hope they have a good career. I feel like we're trying to play puppet master a little bit too much. We got about 15 minutes left in the main show before we do the Patreon exclusive local hour. But let's talk about something that involves Hard Knocks. I think we're all hoping that the Chicago Bears will be selected for the summer Hard Knocks, but we got some news that came out today. The NFL will be voting soon on changing some of the requirements for Hard Knocks, and they're thinking about changing the in-season Hard Knocks, which follows the team during the season. To me, I feel like the in-season Hard Knocks have been way more entertaining than the actual original format of Hard Knocks, because you're actually seeing the week-to-week process leading up to the games. Now they're thinking about going from 1 team to 14. Last year was Miami Dolphins to doing a full division. I think that'd be very entertaining to see the preparation for all 4 teams. You'll get a better view from when they're getting ready to play each other, and just the rivalries that come with it. And I feel like that would be something, especially with in this age of, we have Instagram stories, we have TikTok, we've got all these other video. We pretty much see all the behind the scenes from these teams anyway. And Hard Knocks isn't what it used to be, because it was more popular when we didn't have access to all these teams and the players to see what they usually do on a daily. So I feel like this will be more. And also there'll be more episodes for this as well. And I think that'd be something to be more entertaining throughout the season. Mikey, what you think about the potential of having all division Hard Knocks?
I think that'd be super dope, especially if it's our division, or the NFC North or the AFC North. I think any of the Norths would be super fire, because those black and blue divisions are going to give you some really good storylines. I mean, it would be a no-brainer for it to be the NFC North. You got personalities like Dan Campbell. You're going to be adding in somebody like Caleb Williams. You got Justin Jefferson and his situation going on with the Vikings. If he gets a contract extension before then, and possibly a rookie quarterback. You got Jordan Love and the Packers, trying to not skip a beat, moving on from Aaron Rodgers. So there's plenty of storylines in the NFC North. So selfishly, I hope it's our division that's in there. But I like this. I thought the Dolphins one was cool. last year, and I see that they're trying to find ways to spice it up because the regular summer version of it is kind of getting stale, man.
Yeah. Dante, what you think about this possible new format?
I like it a lot. I like the in-season format a lot. I think that was one of in the past few seasons, it's been more exciting than the regular season Hard Knocks. So I think it would be really dope. Like you said, it would be selfish. But I think fuck it, double up. Give us the Bears for Hard Knocks in the preseason and give us the NFC North during the regular season. I think it's a very
he's not going for that shit.
no, fuck what he won't. We ain't got time for that. This is a very exciting and entertaining division. I think that would be something that people will want to see. But I mean, I like it a lot. I think when you have something that's a staple, the way Hard Knocks is, like Mikey said, sometimes you gotta reinvent a little bit because you don't want it to get stale. You want to keep giving people more content, especially with the NFL being the king of content as it is right now in our sport. You've seen the videos from the catwalks take off and them just doing different things. And so I think this is another way for them to give people more insight to what's going on throughout the season. So I think it's great.
Bang, real quick, what you think about this? Any comments on the Hard Knocks? Man, can you hear us?
Oh, I thought I was off. I thought I was on mute. My bad. I was looking at the timeline. Man, I don't see us getting like 2. So I know I've seen that on the timeline. People thinking, oh, they're gonna give us that during the regular season. Nah, but I want the preseason. I want the preseason. I want training camp. Don't give me during the season. I don't want to see shit during the season. All right, give me training camp. I want to see Caleb Williams versus that defense.
Now, here's a question though. Why don't you want to see it in the regular season?
No, I don't want to see that shit in the regular season. I want to see them getting ready. I don't want to see us because it's gonna give me more anxiety. Let's be real. If I have to watch the Bears more in the regular season,
I got you.
Nigga, I will be in here gonna have a heart attack.
I just want some possible unnecessary screen time for myself.
Nah, for you, to be famous, yes.
Yeah,
but I will have a full stroke if I'm watching the Bears during the preseason and see somebody dropping passes, Caleb throwing interceptions, flukes, all that shit. Nah, because then the game is gonna come. Well, no, it'll be after the game. So you're watching the preparation and you sitting there like, this is why these motherfuckers lost. This is why they lost. God damn it! Like, nah, give me training camp. And y'all can have that. Take that shit to the NFC West. Take that shit over there.
NFC East will be very entertaining as well.
That too. Take it over there. Give me training camp. I love the state of zen that I'm in during the games. All right. I don't post on social media until halftime. I give my thoughts after that. I might join y'all on 79th and Hallis if you ask. Other than that, I don't need to see what you see, nigga. I don't need to see that shit. I'm straight.
I'm finna be like Eminem in the All About Dre video. I was just upstairs listening to my Will Smith CD. Detroit what? In the background of the HBO cameras and shit. But 2 more topics, and then we're gonna wrap this episode up, man. This past weekend, even though we're kind of at the end of transaction season, we had a big trade go down, man. AFC Championship hero of the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs, L'Jarius Sneed, was franchise tagged by the Chiefs early in the season. He was traded to the Tennessee Titans for a 2025 third-round pick, in addition to a 2024, that's a 2023, and to receive a 2025 third-round pick, in addition to a 2024 seventh-round pick, while Sneed will get a new contract. I think for this situation, was it just the Chiefs being cheap? Because I would have thought that had been on top of their plans to bring L'Jarius Sneed back into the fold.
I think so too. I think so too. But you could also draft cornerbacks. Now you're seeing cornerbacks drafted early, and them starting right away. I think they thought also that he was probably going to break the bank, and he didn't. He got the most guaranteed money for a cornerback position, but like he didn't really break the bank. $19 million average salary. They gave up a third-round pick, so the Titans got him for less than what it would have costed had he went to free agency. So I really like this move for the Titans, and I think the Chiefs are just being a little smart with their resources. I think that they know eventually that they're going to have to pay for probably a big time wide receiver down the line. You got the Chris Jones money, tied in now. We'll see how that is. But I think they know that they're going to have to spend some money on the skill position players down the road. And they think that they could probably find, a cornerback in this draft and that somebody that could come and start right away on a rookie deal.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I also feel like there's gonna be a Patrick Mahomes. I need more money coming up real soon. If he sees this money that's being thrown around, like nigga, I'm the best player in the game. So it's time to, yesterday's price ain't today's price. So it's time for y'all to change that contract up. So that might have something to do with it as well. Bang, Dante, y'all got any takes before we move to our final topic on this?
Yeah, just most definitely about the Chiefs. You got to keep money around because, like you said, Pat payday is coming, and you want to probably give them some more help on offense. So that's all that was. So some people may not have seen it coming, but at the end of the day, that team will do enough to compete, and we've seen them draft well and bring in more people on the defensive side, so they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just a situation that they felt like they groomed him for where he is, and then plus they gave all that money to Chris Jones. They gave that man damn near $30 million, I believe they did. So when you giving him that, now we can't give everybody no money. So similar to Tyreek Hill, they did the same thing in this. So
yeah, that's true. Final topic of the day. Let's talk about Mr. Shohei Ohtani, man. We got an update in the Ohtani saga. By the way, nobody is happier than Shohei Ohtani at what happened at Diddy's house in Westwood because nobody was talking about that press conference. I actually forgot it happened. But according to ESPN, he had his press conference today at Dodger Stadium. And he basically said, this is, some of the things he said, I am very saddened and shocked. Someone whom I trusted has done this. He's basically talking about, his interpreter. How you pronounce his last name? Ipe? That's how you pronounce it?
Shit, you tell me.
Ipe Mizuhara.
Yeah, okay, there we go. There we got our dialect coach here. There we go. Ohtani spoke for nearly 12 minutes. He said Ipe has been stealing money from him. He's been stealing money from my account, and he has been telling lies. He said, I never bet on baseball, any sport, and never asked somebody to do it on my behalf. And I have never gone through a bookmaker to bet on sports and was never asked to assist betting payments for anyone else. Ohtani told the media as he was sitting next to Dodgers team manager performance operation, Will Ireton. This to me is something running somebody over with a fucking pickup truck. That's what this is. I think this is very PR'd up. I think there was a reason why he wasn't taking questions from the media as soon as that that news came out that he wasn't going to be taking questions. I kind of expected this right here. He has to distance himself from his translator one way or another because he doesn't want the hit on him. He said, oh, this is funny as hell. It said, Tazawa has O'Shea's back. He good. That is a great Tokyo Vice reference right there about Orlando. He said, if he did steal, shouldn't he be in jail? I mean, yeah, but I don't know how this real process goes. To me, I think this is just something I don't believe is going to be talked about that much longer. Play starts in about 3 days. This just sounds like something they're gonna sweep under the rug, and this guy is gonna take the fall if Ohtani did have anything to do with it. I can't say that he did. I can't say that he doesn't. I don't have any proof. There's nothing out there that tells me that Shohei did this, but it's just something you just kind of take his word for what it is. Mikey, what do you feel about this new, PR statement from Shohei today?
Like you said, it's PR'd up. I think it's in line with kind of the first message that came out from his people. Remember, there were two conflicting stories. There was, his representatives that said one thing, then they kind of scaled it back. Today he came out saying that the first time he heard of this situation was in the clubhouse with everybody else, and he could kind of tell that something was going on, that his team was never informed about the 90-minute request to be interviewed that his interpreter went on. But kind of like Kyle said, if he did steal, shouldn't he be in jail right now? I think that'll be the next step in this process. If he did in fact steal, if that is in fact the story that they're going with, and that's in fact what happened, I would be interested to see if criminal charges are pressed, because if criminal charges are pressed against Ipe, the interpreter, then I think that pretty much you can kind of, absolve Ohtani of any wrongdoing on his end. Yep. If he doesn't, then we'll see. We don't know how that's going to play out. I don't think this story is going to go away just for the mere fact that of who it is. It's the guy that just signed the fucking largest contract in United States sports fucking history. And he plays for the Dodgers. He's going to play for a team that's going to be in the limelight. It's not like he's playing on the fucking Pirates. So I think that this is something that we're going to continue to see, and hear a lot about. The next aspect is going to be: are there going to be criminal charges pressed onto Ipe Mizuhara, and where does that leave Ohtani? This is a part of people need to remember this current investigation for the bookmaker in California. This is how it all started. They're investigating the bookmaker, and it just saw the paper trail led back to Ohtani in Ohtani's camp because that's where the money was coming from. So this is all part of a bigger, larger scale, and more information will come out on that as we move further. We don't know if in this case, if everybody that was participating in the illegal gambling and paying this bookmaker, are they going to be going to be subject to to charges for illegal sports gambling? So this is going to be a long, drawn out process, and it's going to be interesting to see. But for now, I think we can only take Ohtani for what he says for what it is until we find out more information.
Dante, man, what you think about Ohtani's statement?
Yeah, I think it's cap. I think they're just trying to cover it all up so it can go away as fast as possible. The charges will tell a lot, but I think as much as we say Mikey, I hear you on one hand saying they may absolve him, but I mean, we all know their culture is big on loyalty, and if this dude has decided to be the fall guy, most of Shohei's contract is deferred. So if he tells him, "Hey, all right, you're gonna sit down for a minute, and when you get out, I got you, and we good," that could also be agreed to. Not saying it is. We don't know that. I'm not gonna assume it, but I mean, more than anything, what today is another way for the Dodgers trying to just put this past the organization, so they can get everybody back to focusing on baseball. You obviously have some people that are not going to let it go. I think a lot of the vitriol around it has come from the fact that you have people who were hating because Shohei didn't sign with their team. And I think that's bullshit because you can't, like I said, you can't sit here and tell me you actually care about gambling when you have every major league in this country taking millions of dollars from these gambling outfits. Like it's just bullshit. It's beyond hypocritical at this point. So, like you said, with the bookie and the paper trail leading back to Shohei, that's just something that they want to clear up real quick. So it's like, all right, let's pin all of this on him, whether he was fully responsible or not. I don't think I'm of the idea that he probably was gambling, and Shohei is rich enough to where his homie was just gambling. He said, "All right, bro, I got you. Stop doing this dumb shit," and just bailed him out. But you can't make it look like that because people don't think like that. People love to take the moral high road and say, "Oh, this is right, this is wrong. He should have did X, Y, and Z." Went to the authorities, so that's why you have it. It's that. But I think at the end of the day, we didn't learn anything new, and they just hoping this all goes away.
Bang, I know you're not big on baseball. Do you have any take or no? You on mute, dog?
My bad. I'm not big on baseball right now, but MLB The Show. I'm getting pretty decent again. I'm very happy about I'm hitting curveballs again. All right?
That's progress.
But I say I might not be big on baseball like that, but I'm big on crime. And I know a crime when I see it, and I know a lie when I'm seeing it. Sorry, y'all. Look, hey, Shohei. Look, I watched enough Tokyo Vice, ladies and gentlemen, to know it's something up. And I also know this, all right? And I know that the Tokyo Vice thing was a joke. It was a joke, y'all. But I also know in other countries, they're big on loyalty, but they also are big on holding people accountable. And if the wages of these bets was starting to hit millions, nah, G, you can't tell me that this is all just about loyalty. I ain't going. This is also, I'm involved too. There's FanDuel and DraftKings, and then there's the bookie down the street. It's a little bit different. And also, same thing I said in that damn clip from some dude. Y'all go check it out, the latest episode. Same clip I said, same thing I said in that clip is the same thing I said here. We need better muscle out here because when you start hitting the millions, somebody got to take you down to the basement, knock you out, take you down to the basement, pour water on you. You find out you tied up and say, hey, man, you owe us this amount of money. Where the money at? See, real muscle won't let betting shit go to millions and millions of dollars unless they see you as a cash cow. Unless they see you as a cash cow. Me, they breaking my legs if I owe $50. Shohei, they saw a cash cow. And they know how to get away with this shit too. So that's all I'm saying, man.
So in other words, you said Ricky Tan and the Triads wasn't playing anymore.
Hey, I ain't want to say it because I don't want nobody to be like, yo, we racist up in this motherfucker. But yeah.
He said, come on, in here. He kept stepping that damn computer.
Man, that's too much money. That's too much money to be like, damn, fam, you was betting this much?
Yeah,
man,
that's
I got
a lot
you. But stop doing that shit again. I don't give a damn who it is. That's too much money to give the homie pass to. You had to be involved in some type of. I ain't saying Shohei was like the lead, but like when somebody dealing with some shit like that, you probably got a partner that's fucking up too.
It sounds real. Michael and Me. Remember that book?
No.
The dude who's gambling Michael Jordan, Richard the Skeeter. Is that his name? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Michael and Me. This spells real. I don't know. It's a hobby. We gonna see him with the shades on at All-Star break. When they ask him about the shit when somebody gets indicted.
It's a hobby that just went a little bit too far, but you got a little bit of grace because you know MLB needs you. They need you.
The Dodgers need you. So
yes.
This is definitely gonna be something we're gonna keep paying attention to, man. See what's gonna develop in that. But we're gonna wrap up, get y'all ready for the local hour, man. If you want to watch the local hour, listen to the local hour, subscribe to the Patreon. Barber's Chair, patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. Subscribe to the $5.
Wait a minute, Scott. I just thought about it.
Yeah.
For you, my bad. But I just got to say this about Ohtani because I might not get a chance.
Go ahead.
But it's because we been watching Tokyo Vice. We gonna see how shit is when a motherfucker losing the finger. That's what motherfucker lose a finger.
We got to get Jake Adelstein on the case.
Motherfucker be like this. Motherfucker be playing baseball like this.
Throwing a fork ball.
By the way, HBO, if y'all cancel Tokyo Vice, y'all will see me. Y'all already pissed me off by canceling Southside. Y'all cancel Tokyo Vice, we're gonna have serious problems. And they letting everybody on what's the name be A-list superstars now. Euphoria's done. We're not getting another crackhead moment at all. Yo, I got my Dune check. Y'all better get y'all. It's like I don't know what y'all doing.
I got a Dune check and Emmys.
And then just it's my man Domingo. That nigga is nominated for Oscars.
Yes.
You know. Fans died. Ain't no show. Ain't
like,
no
show. I want to come back to this little shit.
Yeah, he's right. Exactly. They said today that we're still working. No, that shit is over. That shit is not coming back, dog.
Y'all holding out hope. That's what y'all doing.
Right, exactly. That shit is a wrap. But patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. Subscribe to the $5 tier. If you just want I'm not gonna hold you content. If you want all the content on here, summer sessions, a banger. We doing summer sessions tomorrow? I don't know what your schedule's like.
We should be
good to go because I want to talk about that goddamn Freaknik documentary on summer sessions.
I gotta watch it.
Oh, you gotta watch that shit because I've got some fucking thoughts. We're gonna talk about that on summer sessions. Me and Dante got some dope shit we're gonna be dropping on the Patreon very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. The MLB. The Hot Corner MLB divisional preview will drop Wednesday afternoon. It was me, it was Mikey, it was Dante, it was Courtney. We knocked that out for y'all last week. So that'll be on. By the way, there's no halftime this week, no Friday show. I've got some personal business to take care of. We will be back on the air next Monday, April 1st. We will be doing no April Fool's jokes. I don't know about y'all. I'm black. I don't do that April Fool's shit. So there'll be no April Fool's jokes.
My April Fool's joke is my son. It's Landon's birthday that day.
Oh, happy birthday to your son.
He'd be 5. That's his. So I won't be on next Monday.
He won't be on next week. He'll be going to being a good father. But me, Mikey, Dante and Courtney will be back next Monday, man. We getting into draft. Draft only is officially a month away, man. So in the local hour, we're gonna be talking about a couple things because we're gonna be all Caleb Central over these next couple of days. Ryan Poles met at the owners meeting today, man. He has some interesting comments on Caleb Williams. We're gonna break down. We're also going to be talking about what we talked about a little bit. We know the Hollywood comments, but I'm gonna say what I had a conversation with my guy Lotto this weekend. I wanted to talk about on the show. Bring the Hollywood to Chicago, man. That's what I want to talk about. What if Ryan Poles trades up, man? We're gonna talk about what is the Bears' biggest weakness heading into this season. So y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChair Scott. Y'all can follow the Barbers Chair Network at BarbersChair Net. On Twitter and Instagram, follow HMB Media, HMB Media TV, and at HMB Media on Instagram. Shout out to Pavy and Thomas of Hoops N Brews for joining us early in the show. Shout out to Lero for joining us early in the show. And of course,
shout out to Diddy.
No shout out to Diddy. I don't want to be any part of that, Rico. No shout out to him. Get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. Visit pillarsclub.co. Go to the Instagram Pillars_club on Instagram, or visit any of their 3 stores in the Chicagoland area. They got the West Loop store, they got the Orland Park store, and they've got the Chicago Ridge store, man. Get all your clothes, your hoodies, your hats. See, I got the nice Pillars hat on right now. You know what I'm saying? They got some new sweatsuits out. They got some stuff for kids. And if you like your shoes, they got all that stuff in store. So check them out. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Got almost up to 1,000 a day. Just 2-3 weeks ago, we was only doing 40, 50 in the live stream. So these numbers have gone up tremendously. We appreciate all the love and support.
We popular enough for you to start taking our content, stealing it.
Oh, yeah, we know. I see y'all producers out there. That's all I'm going to say about that. I see y'all producers and y'all rundowns look very familiar, nigga. But we about to do that local hour that will be up tonight, and then we'll holler at y'all in a week from now. We up out here.